It's 1991. Birds and people are living together in seemingly perfect harmony. Until one day, a young man catches fire. This is Phoenix.
You've been knocked down and got up again. In a corner, you're surrounded, no defenders. You've hid your fury and kept it in. But it's time now, you ignite and turn to embers. Like a phoenix, you burst in a fire burn. A thirst and desire, you transform right up in a flash. You spread your wings to rise from the ashes. Phoenix, you burst in a fire burn. A thirst and desire, you transform right up in a flash. You spread your wings to rise from the ashes.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Game Week 11 knee-jerk stream. God, what a start. Game Week 11 deadline stream, of course, not knee-jerk. That's for tomorrow. We've had a quarter of the season gone already. There's still 3 quarters to go. I've made one free transfer. Mark Guiu is in for Gyökeres. I did that last night before the price dropped for Guiu because I can't... Basically, we knew it was coming, right? And I knew I was going to sell into Guiu, so I didn't want to lose 0.1 million. So I did that swap last night, but I haven't used my other 2 transfers because none of the players I was looking at were going up, apart from Sarr, I guess, but I wasn't really 100% certain about Sarr. So I just let that one go. So yeah, it's either Reinders to Saka, or it's Reinders and Dewsbury Hall to Mbeumo, and Enzo or Sarr, I think. I'm not sure. I'm genuinely not sure. I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure. I'm probably going to go Saka. I can't get Mbeumo out of my mind. I just think Mbeumo is a nice pick. And I also like the idea of getting Enzo or Sarr straight away this week and just rolling in game week 12. Yeah, I don't know. Would it be worth just benching Gyökeres? Depends on your team, possibly, especially if you want him long term. But I was quite happy about getting rid of him, to be honest. I wasn't really that bothered. I'm playing 5-2-3 with Verts captain. That sounds horrible. Play Achimpong or Senesi? I mean, Achimpong will maybe start, but there's always a risk there, right? Play 3 of Sarr, Semenyo, Paquetá, and Jai. Oof. Christ, you got to play them all, surely. I mean, I'd probably bench Paquetá out of those particular 4, but it's not great. Who do I buy over Grealish for 8.5 million? I've got Njai, Mbeumo, Paulinho, and Tavernier. Sarr, maybe? Someone like that. So we've got 2 triple captains this season. Yes, 1 first half, 1 second half. Mbeumo or Van Dijk from game week 12 onwards? I mean, probably Mbeumo, but I mean, Van Dijk's the better longer-term pick. For sure. So, I mean, you could make an argument for Van Dijk, but I guess having Mbeumo is more exciting, right? Shall I start Potts over Senesi? Probably not. The other players to bench are Haaland, Saka, João Pedro, Mateta. Wow, what a squad. Probably Paquetá, yeah, in your case, which is crazy. I'm choosing between Dewsbury Hall and Senesi. You're choosing between Semenyo and... Oh, finally! The last man standing picks are in, and we've gone different. Okay. Okay, finally. I've gone West Ham this week. Good stuff. Okay. Semenyo or Njai to play. I mean, I'd probably go Semenyo, to be honest. Sell Grealish for Sarr or just hold. I think he's okay to hold this week. Always make the move next week if you want to. João Pedro, Caicedo, Enzo, Njai, Semenyo. Oh, bench 1. Caicedo, probably. Should I play Vicario or Dubravka? Man United at home. Probably Vicario. Bench boost Dubravka, Reinders, Senesi, Rodon. Sure, unless you're going to have a better bench soon. Thoughts on Delap as a punt? I hate it. In minutes aren't fully secure, are they? Best burn replacement. Gabriel. Timber. Van Dijk from next week. Sarri's confirmed out. No, he's not. Bench one of Semenyo, Caicedo, and Jai or Thiago. Caicedo, probably. Was free hitting wrong? Probably not. All depends on your team. Yeah, there's nothing inherently wrong with it. Play Thiago or Minte. Thiago, I think. Penalties in at home. Bench one of Enzo, Semenyo, Sarri, and Jai. Oh, God. Semenyo because he's away from home, I guess. But that feels horrible. Wow, how do you all have such good squads? Honestly. Captain Saka, Mateta, João Pedro, or Fernandes. Probably Saka. Out of those. Should I wait for the international break to sell York, or should I sell him now? I mean, it's up to you, really. Like, do you need to sell him now? I mean, he might not even be back after the international break, right? We don't know that for sure. Would you bench boost Dubravka, Van der Ven, Estev, Krupi Jr.? I don't think Krupi Jr. starts, if that helps. But are you going to be willing to upgrade that position anytime soon? Because if not, then yeah, you should probably just bench boost, I guess. Thoughts on Salah? I have both Salah and Haaland. Probably the biggest differential, game week 12 to 14, is Salah. So if the rest of your team's looking good, I don't mind holding on to him. Not great this week, of course, but 12 to 14 is pretty nice. Is it worth switching out Bruno for Mbeumo? No, I mean, in my opinion, if I was buying one of them, I'd buy Bruno right now. So I definitely wouldn't use a free transfer to switch them. Would you rather have Mbeumo over Saka? I think Saka is better than Mbeumo. That doesn't mean you have to buy Saka instead of Mbeumo, because obviously there's difference in money there. But if we're strictly talking who I think is going to get the most points between now and game week 16, and then after that AFCON starts, it's Saka, I think. Obviously, you can have a conversation about whether Mbeumo is more value, and obviously it would allow me to upgrade another position this week. But yeah, Saka's better than Mbeumo, I think, points wise. And part of that is penalties, right? I'm probably going to go the Saka route, yeah, but I don't know, because, yeah, probably. The thing is, part of me's thinking if I go the Saka route, I've got 2 free transfers next week to deal with anything over the break. But if I go the Mbeumo and Enzo or Sarr route, okay, I'll only have 1 transfer next week, but I can get to almost anyone that I'm likely to need to get to. I mean, if Mbeumo got injured and next week I had to sell him with 1 transfer, that would be a bit annoying because I wouldn't be able to go to Saka. But yeah, I'd only have 1 transfer next week. But also, I'd be playing 4-4-2 with Lacroix on the bench. So I've got a bit of insurance there with Lacroix. I could also do Paquetá next week to Minte in 1 move as well. So if one of my attackers gets injured, I can still get Minte in. Or I could just roll. And then I've got 2 free transfers in 13. I don't know. Like, if I go for Saka, I still have a route to get Sarr or Szoboszlai next week, just about. But I've got to use 2 free transfers, then I'll only have 1 going into game week 13. I don't know. I'm probably, like, I'm not trying to, like, string it out. I'm probably going to get Saka. But I really think Mbeumo and Enzo or Sarr is pretty nice. It would definitely look way better this week. Although I'm going to watch the Everton game at 3 p.m, so there's part of me that just wants to watch Dewsbury Hall while he's in my team, to be honest with you. I mean, the other thing is captaincy, right? I like Saka for captaincy next week against Spurs at home, but maybe I should just get on board with captaining Fernandes against Everton at home. Like, I'm going to go against Haaland next week. I'm pretty sure about that, because it's Newcastle away. So it's a tricky-ish game. Obviously, Haaland could score a brace because he's just that good. But I'm probably going to go against him. So am I happy to go Bruno captain against Everton at home next week? I think I'd probably rather go Saka against Spurs at home. But it's pretty close. So maybe I could just get Mbeumo and captain Fernandes. The thing is, apart from next week, I'm not going to captain Saka again until 16. I'm not going to captain Saka in 14, I don't think. Midweek game, I'd rather go for the, security of Fernandes' minutes. No, I don't think Saka's going to get benched, by the way, but he's more susceptible to an early sub once Madueke's back than Fernandes is. And it's tougher to play Brentford than West Ham as well. I don't know. I'm kind of stuck. Something's telling me that I should just buy Saka, but my gut feeling is just go for the Mbeumo route. But also, I'm not completely convinced by Sunderland's a super tough game away from home either. So I just think you play Arsenal, and all of a sudden it's not so easy. If Saka blanks today, you won't want to captain him. That doesn't matter to me at all, honestly. If I have Saka in my team next week, I'm pretty confident I will captain him. But why does him blanking against Sunderland away matter to what he's going to do against Spurs at home? Also, Saka's ownership's lower than Mbeumo, by the way. So that's almost the differential route. Play Xhaka versus Arsenal or Anderson versus Everton. Probably Anderson. Would you bench boost Dubravka, Estev, Paquetá, Juve? I mean, if Paquetá and Juve are genuinely on your bench, which maybe they are, yeah, of course, it's Burnley at home. Bench Juve or Senesi. Or Senesi, sorry. I'd probably bench Senesi. If you've got Juve, you've got to play him against Burnley at home, surely. Doku to Caicedo, no. Who to bench, Gabriel or Senesi? Come on now. Come on now. You're not benching Gabriel, seriously? Come on. Don't waste your money asking questions like that. No one's benching Gabriel. Like, if you've got Gabriel, you just play him every single game. Every single game. Pretty much, anyway. Definitely this week. Voltamada to Guiu, Reinders to Mbeumo next game week. Maybe, yeah. I mean, come back to it next game week, I guess. I mean, Mbeumo's pretty nice for next week, honestly. Field 1 and Minte, Chris Richards or Gakpo. Probably Minte just about. Love Black Box last night, thanks. Plan on doing any more? No plans, but I mean, I'm sure Az will ask me if there's 10 other people that can't do it at some point. Is that Anderson or Njai? Njai, 5.7 million rank. Ouch. Surely this team gets me a green arrow. Pope, Gabriel, Timber, Munoz, Semenyo, Enzo, Rice, Sarr, Njai, Harlem, Mateta. Guaranteed green arrow. Yorkresh, Reinders, Van de Ven to Guiu, Bruno, Timber, -4. Can you not just do 2 of those moves and do the other one next week? I don't really like the hit, to be honest, but I guess if you want to do it, go for it. William, 1 month, thank you very much. Start Petrovic or Henderson. So Villa away or... Oh, I'd go for the home guy. And Munoz or Senesi. I mean, again, that's... One guy's at home who plays as a right winger. Come on. I know Senesi's good, by the way. I'm not trying to say he's not, but come on. Munoz versus Senesi. Gabriel versus Senesi. What are we doing here? Next week, Mateta and Semenyo are better captains than Saka. I mean, Semenyo is a really nice shout. I don't hate that. The problem with Semenyo is we're never quite sure how much Kluivert's going to play, and we're also not completely sure that Semenyo would take penalties when Kluivert's on the pitch. He probably wouldn't, right? And Mateta's good, but he's away from home. And just to say, right, it's not that Saka is out and out the most obvious captain next week. But if I had him, I think I would captain him. But I agree. He's not. This is what I'm saying. It's only 12 and 16. That's all I really care about captaincy for Saka. And 12's not even that important for me. 16 because it's Wolves at home. Who knows? Maybe he'll be injured by them. Anderson over Senesi, even with Dewsbury Hall in the squad. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think Anderson is better than Senesi, and I think Dewsbury Hall is better than Senesi. It's quite close, so I could go for the higher upside move, which is playing Senesi instead of Dewsbury Hall. But honestly, and this is the decider for me, if I've got Dewsbury Hall in my 11 by deadline, Everton are playing at 3 o'clock and it's on TV in Ireland. So I'd rather watch Dewsbury Hall than wait for Senesi. Honestly. Semenyo is so much better with Evan Nielsen playing. We'll see. I mean, honestly, yeah, if Semenyo does well this week, people will want to captain him next week, I would say. Is Evan Nielsen back? Yes. And is Krupi Jr.'s run over? Also probably yes. How do you think City versus Liverpool game will go? Not quite sure. I was discussing this last night. But, like, it's quite funny because you say it could go this way or that way. Like, it could be super cagey or like really open. And it's like, well, yeah, you know, could be a win, could be a loss, could be a draw. But yeah, I don't think either side. I don't think either side can really afford a draw right now with Arsenal doing so well. So, and I'm going to say the most obvious thing. Obviously, both sides will want to win, right? Every team wants to win every game. I get it, right? It's like such a Michael Owen thing to say. But you get the point, right? There are some games where you would just take a draw. But I'm not sure this is the game. Especially for Man City at home. I'm not sure they would take a draw. So for that reason, I think it could be quite open. But Who knows? Who knows? If Haaland scores this weekend, everyone will captain him next game. I'm telling you now, I won't captain Haaland next week. I promise you, if Haaland scores a hat-trick, I'm not going to captain him next week. As long as Fernandes is fit or Saka's in my team. Would I go Semenyo over Haaland? I wouldn't necessarily go Semenyo over Haaland, but Fernandes, I'm going to captain Fernandes or Saka over Haaland next week. I promise you. Haaland hat-trick, 4 goals, 5 goals against Liverpool. I'm going to captain him. I'm not going to captain him, sorry, against Newcastle. I agree with you, by the way, that a lot of people will make their decision based on what happens this week. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to captain Haaland in 14. I'm not going to captain Haaland in game week 16 either. 16 depends on Saka, to be honest. But yeah, right now my captains are Haaland this week, Saka or Fernandes next week, Haaland in 13, Fernandes in 14, Haaland 15, 16. Let's see. Let's see. Saka and Mbeumo and Van Dijk, or Salah and Enzo and Richards. I think Saka and Mbeumo and Van Dijk long term, honestly. I mean, this week, actually, do you know what? Even this week, I think it might be better. Captain Haaland, Saka, Mateta, Enzo. Thinking Enzo. Yeah, if you want to go for that, you could. I would probably have Enzo last on that list, personally. But if you want to captain Enzo, go for it. Benching Dubravka, Dewsbury Hall, Senesi, Lacroix. I'm in for pain this week. Probably not. I mean, West Ham going to smash. I'm all in on West Ham now. I'm all in on West Ham. Because I've got them in last man. If West Ham win and Forest lose, I've won last man standing. And I've also got Paquetá. So what time is that game on tomorrow? Is it on tomorrow? Or is it on today? Let me see. Oh, it's on today. Oh, and he's gone Forest, which is tomorrow. Oh, God. It's a shame the West Ham game's not on at 3 o'clock. Gay or Juve? Oh, I played Juve this week, I think. Honestly. Yeah. Why is Newcastle a hard fixture? West Ham beat them. But again, you're going now off one game that Newcastle is now not difficult because they lost one game. I mean, you shouldn't change your opinions that strongly after one match, right? I mean, it wasn't that long ago people were like doubling up on Newcastle defenders because of how well they defended. So we're now saying they're awful. And it's an away game as well, by the way. It's away for Man City. And again, like I think you're hearing something I'm not saying. I haven't at one point said that Haaland is a bad captain next week. I just said I'm not going to captain him because it's Newcastle away. And you've got to look for weeks where, you've got to look for weeks to go different because Haaland's going to be captained so much, right? Especially in those easy home games. It's going to be hard to go against him. So, yeah. If you're going to go against him, it's games like Newcastle away. West Ham are good now after one good game. Nope, again, haven't said that, I don't believe. I honestly, sometimes I wonder if I'm speaking a different language. I haven't said that West Ham are good now. But they are playing Burnley at home. Bench boost with Dubravka, Thiago, Minte and Senesi. If that's your genuine bench, then yes, absolutely. Dubravka, Juve, Steve, Reinders, do I bench boost? Don't like that they play each other, but good fixtures. Again, yeah, probably would. Alex, 34 months. Burn, Lacroix, Longstaff, Caicedo, Calvert-Lewin and Guiu. Oh, sorry. Burn to Lacroix, Longstaff to Caicedo, Calvert-Lewin to Guiu for free. Don't hate it, but I would pick Minte over Caicedo personally, but obviously it's up to you. Do you think it's worth taking a -4 to get Gabriel and João Pedro Voltemada for Dan Burn and Yorkeresh and Captain Gabriel? I mean, I wouldn't Captain Gabriel just because you want to take the hit. If you think he's genuinely the best option, then of course go for it. I don't particularly like that hit, no, but I get it. I do get it. And getting Gabriel in will probably just make you feel happier. In the next 5 to 6 games, do you think Sarr outscores Njai? Probably. The only reason I say probably is they do have Fulham away and Man City in 15-16. But yeah, I think Sarr with the fixtures. Considering Reece James won't start after 90 and you're... Oh, concerned Reece James. I mean, Maresca has said he can start 3 games in a week. And his fitness has been good recently. So he may well start. But of course there is some doubt there because it's Reece James. And you've always got that slight worry. Can I speak Gaelic? No. I can say number 1. Ivra Hain. That's about it. I just picked that up on the radio one day that number 1 was Ivra Hain. And I think I can count maybe count to 10. But I'm not going to embarrass myself by trying right now. I can definitely count to 5. Bench Gimenez, Voltemada, Sarr, or Semenyo. Probably Gimenez, right? Bench Stev or Van der Ven. Probably a Stev. And bench boost with Dubravka, Virgil, and Gakpo. Probably not. But if you're not going to get a better bench anytime soon, then you could go for it. Because I think Gakpo will start. But there is some doubt there, by the way. It could just be Wirtz. They played so well against Real Madrid. Could just be Wirtz again. Could be exactly the same team. Gay, Gabriel, Vardiol, Van der Ven, Senesi play 3. Gay and Gabriel definitely. The other 3 I'm not so sure. I'm going to say Van der Ven. And then Senesi, then Vardiol. No, no, Vardiol, then Senesi, I think. Just because Vardiol has got a bit of goal threat in him. Kuig, yeah. Is Esteval a good pick? Not really, because he's just not guaranteed minutes. I think if he, by the way, if he was, I think we'd be all over him. He looks like a real talent. Putting up really good numbers, but the minutes are just not there. Like he probably will start one of the next 2, I guess, but it's just a guess, and it might not happen. Dewsbury Hall to Enzo -4, probably wouldn't. Is Sunderland away a really tough fixture? We'll find out after Arsenal play them. Just how tough it is. Because Everton, for a time at least, could have probably scored a few more than they did against Sunderland. And Arsenal are definitely better than Everton. So we'll see. We'll see. Is Mateta a must-have? No. Would you transfer Bassi against Everton away to Achimpong with Wolves at home for bench boost? No, probably not. Because Achimpong's not completely nailed, right? Would you bench boost the worst bench ever? Dewsbury Hall, Esteve, Rodon. It's not the worst bench ever, to be honest. Is my captain correct? Yes. Haaland, yeah. Who do you trust more, Tacticos or bookmakers? I mean, bookmakers make a lot of money, so we probably should trust them quite a lot. Okay, let me see the question. Who would you move Stack for? Is it worth a -4 to get Enzo with another move? Probably not. 0.3 in the bank. Stack. I mean, do you need to move Stack on? Raya, Gabriel. Who's Rich? Oh, Richards. Senesi. I mean, your defense is fine. Saka, Semenyo, Sarr, and Jai. Can't you just play 3-4-3 and not worry about... Oh, bench boost. Bench boost. Sorry. I don't know how much Stack is. Is he 4.9 now? He must have dropped, surely. Or did he go up to 5.1 then back down to 5? Oh, he's 4.9. So let's say you got 5.2 to spend. I mean, I wouldn't... I don't think Dewsbury Hall is the worst player to bring in if you want a bench boost this week. 5.2 million. There's not a huge amount of other options, really. King has got Everton away, but his minutes are not like amazing. Jacques is Arsenal at home. If you had 5.3, I would have considered Elliot Anderson. I think you go Dewsbury Hall. For 1 week. Bench boost. Who would be your first 5 inductees in an FPL Hall of Fame? Oh my God. Salah. I mean, I guess you just have to go for like the height, like players like Lampard, Ronaldo, etc. Oh God, I don't know. Let's just do it for my own team. I go for my own, how my teams have gone over the years. I'll say Salah, Antonio, Bruno Fernandes, Gabriel. That really is recency bias. And then there was a player I was going to say that I definitely can't say. Who else has been really good to me over the years? Must be another player that's been really good to me. Can't think of the top of my... When players like Baines should be in there, right? I don't know. I feel like I need to think about that a bit more. Not on a deadline stream. I can play only 2 of the 3. Who do you recommend I start? Bruno, Minte, Voltemada. Bruno and Voltemada, I think. Bearing in mind, if Gordon's out, Voltemada's on penalties, right? Pope to Sanchez or Voltemada to João Pedro. I like the first one. I would probably do neither. But yeah, I guess long term, I'd probably rather have Sanchez and Voltemada than João Pedro and Pope. That makes sense. What's happening with Kudus? He's touch and go. Do I sell Foden for a -4 if he's on my bench? No. You don't even sell him for free if he's on your bench, right? Is there a possibility for you to roll your remaining transfers and just play Senesi or Reinders instead? No. No chance am I doing that. Saka's coming in, or in Burmo and Enzo are coming in. I think I might go Enzo over Sarr. I don't know. Yeah, Van Dijk dropped last night is annoying, but honestly, as an owner, I guarantee you I'm getting that money back. Unless he gets injured, I'm getting that 0.1 million back because people will buy him now. Raya, okay, make changes. I mean, Raya's good, Gabriel's good, Gay's good. Chalobah's not bad this week. Saka, Semenyo, Foden, Reinders. 2 free transfers. I'd maybe think about Foden and Reinders out, possibly. Everything else looks fine to me. Foden just to fund the move for Reinders. Like Foden and Reinders to Sarr and Enzo or something like that would be tempting, but I don't know what your obviously future plans are and stuff like that. Bench Kudus or Senesi. I think I take the risk that Kudus is going to start. Would you play Chalobah over Senesi or Richards? Yes, both, I think. Why am I not considering Rice? I mean, I could consider Rice, I guess. I could go in Burmo and Rice, but is Rice better than Enzo or Sarr? I'm not sure he is. I'm not sure he is. Why don't you bring in Sayesi? Because I don't know if I'm going to buy him this week. Am I a fan of Harry Maguire? Of course. Watkins or Welbeck? Welbeck. There's no way I'll be paying the money for Watkins right now. Take a hit to get Bowen? No chance. Play Senesi or Van de Ven? Van de Ven probably. If captaining someone playing Liverpool is the right move, FPL isn't a game I want to play. I mean, it is Haaland, right? And also, it's the alternatives. That's the problem this week. I mean, Mateta, I don't hate Mateta captain, to be honest. I get what you mean, right? It's not right captaining Haaland against Liverpool. It's really not. Would you really bring Minte in over... There's no chance I'm buying Caicedo. Honestly. Not for 6 million. So yes, I would definitely bring in Minte over Caicedo. Put it this week. Next week, if I do Saka in, there's a chance I need to do Paquetá to a 6 million midfielder. I promise you it will not be Caicedo. There is zero chance it will be Caicedo. Captain Saka or Haaland. If I buy Saka, I'm still going to go Haaland, I think. Although, the closer we get to the deadline, the more I kind of hate it. Just because it is Liverpool. If he was ranked 1.9 million, would you go different in Captain Saka? Probably not. I don't. We're only 10 weeks in. I wouldn't start worrying about that. Like having to go different. I mean, you can do. Like, if you think it's genuinely close, of course you can do it. But I wouldn't start having the mindset that you've got to do loads of things differently. Very quickly, you can just increase from 1.9 million. 2 forward drafts slightly better than 3 forward because of DEFCON. It's just not that. Here's the problem, right, with forwards. Let's say I hadn't gone Mark Guiu last night and I'd gone for Thiago instead. What if Thiago, Mateta or Haaland gets injured? Then which forward do I go to? I ain't going to buy João Pedro after this week. Voltemada? Welbeck? There's not that many options in my opinion. Whereas now, if Mateta gets injured, I just go to Thiago, right? Whereas midfielders, I think there's quite a lot of choice. I could go for Saka right now, in Burmo, Sarr, Enzo, Szoboszlai from next week, Minte from next week. I just feel like there's a lot more midfielders I'm kind of happy with. Gordon, maybe, if the minutes come back. Jamie Vardy, not a bad shout for Hall of Fame FPL, yeah. Fair point. So I prefer going down to Mark Guiu rather than the 3 forwards, but there's plenty of people that don't think that. I went for João Pedro captain. What do you think? Not for me. I think the minutes might be a little bit less this week, and he's not on penalties or anything. Start one of Romero, Senesi, Goodmanson. Romero probably. Oh, okay. I have Mbermo playing, so leaning against playing Romero. Probably Senesi. But I mean, I don't hate Goodmanson instead. It's much of a muchness, really. I also have no Chelsea this week. Am I worried? I mean, João Pedro's ownership is super high, so yeah, there's obviously a bit of worry there, but I don't want him long term, so Yeah, not particularly. I mean, I could get Enzo this week if I wanted to. I could go in Burmo and Enzo. Defensively, I'm really not that bothered because I know long term I just don't care about having Chelsea defenders. 1.6 million in the bank. Would Senesi to Van Dijk next week be a good move or luxury? I think that's a luxury just because of how good Senesi's fixture is against West Ham. But getting Van Dijk in general, I love. Yeah. Saka 100% on penalties, and without Yorkresh will be the focal point. I know. I'm gonna get Saka. I promise you. But I haven't fully accepted it yet. Basically, I haven't fully accepted it yet. Like I don't know. Hang on. I'll come back on to Saka in a second. I wasn't going to miss a bunch of these questions. Best 5 midfielders on free hit. Esteval. I wouldn't do that. I would probably go Saka. I'd probably take the punt on Marino, even though double Arsenal defense is so good. So Saka, Marino, Enzo, and then 2 others. Who did I? Oh yeah, Saka, Marino, Enzo, and then 2 others. Like take your pick. Fernandez, Mbermo, Sarr. Probably not Rodgers, to be honest with you. No one from Chelsea, Liverpool. Yeah, I'd go Enzo, Marino, Saka, and then I would choose 2 from Paquetá, Fernandez, Mbermo. And that's about it. If you think Esteval starts, then I kind of love it, but I don't know how confident in that we should be. Good to see you on Black Box. You should do it more often. Az hates me though. He only came to me because someone else couldn't do it. So yeah, Az just deep down hates me, I'm afraid. Bench 1, Semenyo, Sark, Gay or Voltemada. I'd bench Gay. Play bench Reinders, bring in Minte or Roll. Okay, what? So I hate to do this, but that depends. So if you bench Reinders, who else are you playing? You know, so without knowing that, it's hard to answer. I'd probably get Minte over Reinders, yeah. That's just a really good long-term pick. Not worried about Dewsbury Hall blanking and Fulham not getting the clean sheet. I mean, sure, but like, if you worry about that stuff, you just worry about am I worried that you can just do that for everything, right? Like, you could literally ask me the same question about every player. Am I not worried that Paquetá might blank? Am I not worried that Van Dijk might lock Haaland down? So, like, when you start thinking like that, it's like you can make a case for anything. I mean, you could look at it another way. Dewsbury Hall scores. Okay, that's great, but I don't get my clean sheet, but that's fine. Or Dewsbury Hall and his friends don't score and Anderson gets a clean sheet, then I'm happy. I did say earlier, like Senesi and Anderson is probably the slightly higher upside move, but Dewsbury Hall's on TV. So I'm going to go Dewsbury Hall, I'm afraid. Why don't I just buy Saka now? I don't know. Why don't I just buy him in 5 minutes? Dewsbury Hall hasn't scored in 7 games. Yeah, he's not very good. I don't know what more I can tell you. Why does Az hate you? I'm not sure. He just does. Just told me once he hates me. Bench 1, Saka, Minte, Cunha, Sarr, Enzo, João Pedro, Voltemada. Oh, come on. Come on. Minte, probably. And I say come on. I mean, you just got such a good team. Why Anderson over Senesi? Yeah, I just think Fulham defence... Is Fulham defence better than Bournemouth? I mean, to be fair to Fulham, their defensive numbers last year were pretty good. I think they're okay this year as well. And I'd probably rather play Everton than Villa. Like, even though Villa have struggled at times this season, I still think their attack's probably slightly better. I don't know, it's a close one. It is a close one. You could go the other way around if you wanted to. Bench 2, start 2, Xhaka, Van Dijk, Senesi, Bijol. Probably the last 2, Senesi and Bijol. I liked it when you said the word good on Black Box. I know, but like, I don't know what else you're supposed to say. Like, if someone's a good pick, they're just a good pick. If you've listed the reasons why they're a good pick, like, what else do you need to say, really? They're a fantastic pick. The best pubs in Weston-super-Mare. Oof. I was going to say small list. That's maybe a bit harsh. In the town centre, I like Brunello, and I like Duke of Oxford in particular. There's probably other ones that are good, but that's the 2 I like. Yeah, I'm trying to think now. There's one on the same street as Lloyd's Bank. I can't remember what the freaking street's called now. Which has got a name I can't remember. Inside it's got like nice comfy seats, but I can't remember what it's called. But there's a bar there. That's all right. Kudus and Voltamada to Imbermo and Guy. Bearing in mind I haven't lived there for a very, very long time, so my memory is not quite what it was. And it's a new bar anyway. Newish. Kudus and Voltamada to Imbermo and Guy for a hit. No, probably not, because then you're basically taking a -4 to have Imbermo instead of Voltamada this week, which, no, probably not. Bench boost to Bravka and Van der Ven. Sorry, bench boost to Bravka, Van der Ven, Konza, Minte. Yeah, probably. Start Juve or Van Dijk. Juve. Senesi or Van der Ven. I'm going to say Van der Ven. Semenyo or Reinders. I mean, definitely Semenyo. Have I been to the helicopter museum? Yes, probably once upon a time, but not recent enough that I can really remember anything about it, apart from I think it had helicopters. Do you think that you being the trailblazer for FPL content made it easier for the likes of Raptor, Harry, and Oscar? Do you think they would have been successful regardless? Yeah, probably. Yeah. I mean, if I wasn't there, someone else would have done it. And by the way, I wasn't even the first person anyway. Like, you got people like FPL Tips were around before me. So, yeah, of course. One midfielder, 7.5 for Gordon. Have Saka, Semenyo, Paquetá, Sarr. Enzo, probably. For a couple of games, then maybe look to move him on. I would have said Sarr until you said you already had Sarr. I mean, maybe Rice if you want a super long-term move. But I think Enzo for a couple, then maybe move him on. Bench boost to Bravka, Semenyo, Senesi, Achimpong. If that's genuinely your bench, then yes, maybe risk the start on Achimpong. But is Semenyo really on your bench? 200 points behind in my mini-league, Captain Bowen. 200 points is a lot already, but I don't think you need to go mega differential just yet. So probably not. Transfer Tarkovsky to James last night, reprice drop, mistake. I think Tarkovsky is probably the better long-term hold, but James is really good next couple. Who should I start? Senesi / Burn or Thiago? Or Thiago, definitely. How many Man United and England shirts do you own? Man United, not actually that many. Probably 3 now, I think. England, 1, 2, 3. I want to say 5 or 6, I think. Average points per week you aim for. Average change every season. Yeah, the average will change. I don't really aim for anything. I just aim to get the most points I can get, really. It's not like I think I've got to make this transfer so I can hit 65 points average. It's just I've got to make this transfer to get the most points I can get, I guess. Why did you sell your crush for Giu? What's the plan? To either buy Saka or to buy Mbermo and Enzo, I think. Or Sarr. Dun, 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 dun. How is Virgil to Gabriel 1 free transfer? If it's your only way to get Gabriel, I would do it. If you can get Gabriel another way and keep Van Dijk for the fixtures from next week onwards, I'd prefer that. But if you can only get Gabriel from Van Dijk, Gabriel is clearly the better pick. Is Liverpool's Bradley a good shout? I mean, definitely not this week. I'm a little bit sceptical about his minutes. I think Liverpool are playing pretty well the last couple of games, and part of the reason for that is Bradley at right back, Szoboszlai, Gravenberch, McAllister midfield, etc. So that is a good sign for Bradley. I just don't think he can play too many minutes. I just think he'll start struggling when it's weekend, midweek, weekend. He'll have to get benched at some point. Which is part of the reason I'm not 100% certain about Szoboszlai, by the way. Yeah, I don't know. In theory, Bradley's great value. I can't quite get on board with it. I don't mind if you want to take the punt on it, of course, but not for me. Not for me. How many Island shirts do I have? Unfortunately, 0. I should buy a Galway shirt at some point, but I haven't been to enough games to really warrant it, I don't think. Oh, Moro, sorry, I did miss that. 19 months. 1 free transfer, wildcard 12. Roll and play Dewsbury Hall or punt Marino. I do think... Okay, so I do like rolling a transfer into wildcard. I think it's quite nice, right? It's quite a strong position to be in. But I think the wildcard 12 teams are going to be quite sturdy in terms of you can set them up in a really nice way where you're going to have no transfers to make over the next few weeks. So because of how low owned Marino is, I'd probably punt it, I think, rather than play Dewsbury Hall. Like, if it was, I might buy this player, but I'm not quite sure they'll start because I don't really want to play Dewsbury Hall. I definitely wouldn't do that. But Marino is going to start number 9, isn't he? It's a huge differential. So I think I probably would. The best keeper to own now, bar Raya. I'd be tempted to go cheap. Petrovic or Verbruggen, someone like that, and just spend the money elsewhere. Got Xhaka out for Mbermo. Please tell me I'm a moron. You're a moron. Is Marino a differential with chasing 50 points? Yes, it's very short term. Unless you've got a wild card to play soon, I probably would not be buying Marino. Bench 1, Caicedo, Semenyo, Minte, and Jai Eze. Again, maybe Minte, but I personally would probably bench Caicedo. For the next 6 to 7 game weeks, rank Sarr, United midfielder, Szoboszlai, and Jai. Well, I mean, Sarr goes to AFCON, and so does Njai in 7 weeks. So, okay, I'll say Man United midfielder, then Sarr. But if it was next week, maybe Szoboszlai, then Njai. Start Lacroix or Murillo. If you've got Murillo, I'd be tempted to start him, especially if Calvert-Lewin's going to miss out. Captain Haaland or Mateta. I'm going Haaland, but Mateta's good too. 34 months, by the way. Bench Reinders, Rodon, Garner, or Van der Ven. Only bench one of them. Probably Garner, I think. Just about. Are you likely captain in Saka? No, I don't think so. I think I'm going to go Haaland. It does feel so wrong, though, honestly. I've been on Haaland all week. It just doesn't feel right to captain him against Liverpool. It's a shame it's not an away game. If it was Liverpool away, I wouldn't be captaining Haaland. Yeah, Sarr's probably... No, I'd go Man United midfielder over Sarr, especially if it's Fernandes. But Tottenham Man United prediction. Man United 4-0, maybe? Maybe 4-1. Don't know if Man United will keep a clean sheet. Probably a hat-trick from Mbermo. You know, the guy's just that good. Why am I starting Reinders? I'm going to sell him. I'm definitely selling Reinders this way. Probably to Saka. Am I a Man United fan? Nope. Gordon and Strand Larson to Bruno and Gio or another midfielder. I mean, I think buying Bruno is pretty nice, yeah. Really good long-term pick. If you could afford Saka, you can maybe make an argument he's slightly better, but I don't know. Sounds like you should do the Mbermo transfer. Honestly, I'm so like you know, like how some people really you know how some people really struggle with making like moves that everyone else owns. I struggle when I've got multiple decisions. It was so easy to buy Harden in game week 6. It was so easy to do Evan Nilsson to Mateta in game week 10. I didn't care how many other people were doing it. This week I feel like I've got a genuine decision, and now I'm struggling a bit. And it doesn't. And the problem is I've thought about. I like both moves so much, and I've thought about both of them so much that it doesn't matter which one I do now. I'm gonna regret it. Although when I was just saying that out loud, I did think I might regret going the Mbermo route less, even if Saka does really well. But that's easy to say now, right? If Saka smashes Sunderland and Mbermo blanks, then I won't be saying that tomorrow, will I? So I don't know. Who to start, Van der Ven or Szoboszlai? Probably Szoboszlai if you got him. Yeah, why not? Would you bring in Gay or Lacroix? Gay's now gone up to 5.1, hasn't he? Isn't he now more expensive than Lacroix? Pretty sure he is, right? Yeah. I mean, I would have probably bought Lacroix over Gay when they were both 5 million. So I would definitely say the 0.1 now. I mean, I will say Gay is shaping up to be that player that I suspect that I keep thinking will start scoring less points, and he probably never will. But yeah, Lacroix, I think. Lacroix for me. Save the 0.1 million. Could come in useful at some point, you know? Will the Caicedo agenda ever die? I get it, by the way, just funny. Well, it's like, I don't know, like, it's not a problem, but obviously doing content, I get a lot of comments. So I'm probably seeing more stuff about Caicedo than a lot of people are. And so I feel like I've always got a jab back now. But yeah, again, Caicedo's an okay pick if you're buying him for Defcons. People are not buying him for Defcons. If Caicedo had the same points as like Elliot Anderson, no one would be buying Caicedo. And so you can say, well, it's because he scored goals and that's going to continue. It's not going to continue. There's no chance he keeps scoring this rate. No chance. And that's the problem. People say they're buying him because he's so good for Defcons. They're not. They're buying him because he's got lots of points. And he's got those points from goals and assists that are not going to continue, in my opinion. So you're not getting a haircut until Man United win 5 matches in a row. I mean, to be honest, if I did that, my hair wouldn't, like, look at my hair, honestly. Come on. It ain't getting much longer than this. Caicedo will get 200 points. We'll see. We'll see. Are you not worried about the manager of the month curse and Man United falling away? Nah, Man United are going to beat Spurs. Come on. Foden to Sarr or Enzo, worth it. I like the fact it frees up money, to be honest, but you might want Foden back from 13. I'd probably go Sarr over Enzo, but I'm not completely ruling out buying Enzo myself, then moving him to Szoboszlai later on. What happened to hits? Love that part of the game. Personal opinion, of course, but prefer the 2 transfer max rule. I love the 5-3 transfer rule, to be honest with you. I think it's a really nice addition to the game because it gives you, like, if you still want to use your 2 free transfers, you absolutely can. And if I don't want to, I don't have to. I can be a bit more patient. So I quite like it. Like, I don't like the African Cup of Nations transfers. I think that's awful. I think they should get rid of that. I'm not that bothered about the double chip thing. I actually think overall I probably prefer 1 set of chips, but I'm not completely against it. AFCON transfers I hate. I think it's rubbish. The 5 transfer I think is really good as well. I like that. Do you think Man United can finish top 5? Yes, but I'm not sure it's that likely. The thing that obviously gives you hope is Man United are on an unbeaten run in 4, which feels quite good for them. And no one, there's a few other teams that you were expecting to fight for top 5 that haven't quite like shown huge consistency so far, like Newcastle, Villa, etc. Now, obviously they can do it. You know, top 5 is not decided right now, but I guess from how the season started, I'm a little bit more hopeful that Man United could do it. But I wouldn't be putting much money on it, put it that way, because there's a lot of other good teams fighting for that position. I think top 4 is just done, basically. I think it'll be Arsenal, Liverpool, Man City, Chelsea, top 4. So it's just about every other team trying to fight for that 5th place. In Game Week 15, should we use all our transfers? Yeah, pretty much. I mean, look, as always with FPL, there's outliers. There will be someone in Game Week 15 that's got like 4 free transfers, and it doesn't make sense to use them all because they would have to change a player that actually is quite good to keep. But for most of us, it will make sense to use all our transfers in Game Week 15. Start Eze or Welbeck. Ooh, I mean, if you've got Eze, I'd probably go for him. Which obviously you do because you're asking me whether to start Eze or Welbeck. Start Van Dijk, Esteve or Mukiele. Ooh, probably Van Dijk. Now is good to bench boost, but thinking -4 to be perfect. I probably wouldn't take a -4 for bench boost unless it's also going to really like gain you a lot of points over the next few weeks as well. Sell, burn, and get someone or roll and start Senesi. Who did Newcastle have, by the way? Hang on. Brentford away, right? I mean, you just play one of Senesi or burn and roll, I think. Unless you're going to go and buy an Arsenal defender or something. I feel like Haaland struggles against Van Dijk. He has done, but I think it's also worth pointing out this time last week, people were telling me about Haaland's record versus Bournemouth. And he just scored 2 goals. I think, let me just have a look here. I think his record before that game wasn't great. Yeah, 3 goals, 1 assist in 7 appearances. But obviously 2 of those goals came last week. So before that, it was 1 goal, 1 assist in 6 games. So people were saying that Haaland versus Bournemouth is not that good. Then he went and scored a brace. So I would just be really careful about making decisions based on past games and seasons. I mean, the Liverpool team is different now. The Man City team is different. Again, though, it's fine to go against Haaland. I completely get the thought process. It's Liverpool. I do not want to captain Haaland against Liverpool. I think that's fine. I think it's absolutely fine. I have Kroupy. Should I bench boost with him, Dubravka, Senesi, and Rodon? Or should I risk it next game with Bournemouth having a better fixture? I just don't think Kroupy's minutes get better next week. And Bournemouth's fixtures get better, but do everyone else's in your team? I mean, Senesi does, but then he's probably in your 11. So what's your genuine bench next week? If it's not that much better, I would just go this week. Haaland could blank, by the way. Like, it's completely possible. I always feel like I always feel like a monster to break it to people, but some of your players will blank this week, and one of them could be Haaland. It's just reality of FPL. Players will sometimes blank. I do think people are on for really good weeks. Not necessarily me, to be honest, but I think there's a lot of people out there on for really good weeks because there were so many midfields last week that did bad that are just way too good to do that again. Honestly, like I saw midfields with like Saka, Gordon. I think that's what Az actually had something like Saka, Gordon, Enzo, Sarr, and then like someone else who was also good. There's no way all those players blank again. Warning: I captained Mbeumo over Haaland last week. Ouch. Hey, but look, Mbeumo could outscore him this week. Captain Arsenal defense. Don't hate it, but I will go Haaland over Gabriel for sure. It's got to be Gabriel, I think, if you're gonna captain an Arsenal defender. Have Saka, Sarr, Enzo, Minte, sell Gordon to who? Fernandes or Mbeumo if you can afford it. Otherwise, bench and play a back four maybe and sell him next week to Szoboszlai or something like that. Marino or Mbeumo? I mean, long term, there's no contest. It's got to be Mbeumo. Marino captain. Go for it. Is Enzo Rice a viable captain? I would not captain Declan Rice. No penalties. He's not a Caicedo or an Elliot Anderson when it comes to DEFCONs either. He has got some attack. Like as an overall package, I do like Rice, but captaincy, no way. Enzo maybe because of penalties. Maybe. Resuming Gakpo starts. Who should I start? Rodgers or Gakpo? I'd probably go Rodgers at home. Yeah. Is Anderson the best sub 5.5 million midfielder? I think he might be, yeah. I think he might be. He's really good for DEFCONs. He's got better attacking numbers than like Caicedo, Xhaka, etc. Only slightly, by the way. It's not like Anderson is a Declan Rice or something, but yeah, I'd probably go Anderson under 5.5 if you've got to play him a lot. I mean, honestly, if you're going to bench them a lot, I don't think Dewsbury Hall is horrible still. I don't like playing him too often, but if he's mostly going to be on your bench, he's 4.9 million. And long term, the Everton fixtures are not that bad. But if you want to play him regularly, like play that, I'd probably get Elliot Anderson, to be honest. Who to bench out of Calafiori, Timber, James, Munoz? Oh man, you've got to play them all. You have to bench someone else. Is your attack that good? You've got to bench one of them. I mean, honestly, I'd probably bench James because he's the least likely to start of the four. I feel like you've got to start them all. Got to start them all. When are you making your Reinders transfer? In the next 1 hour, 7 minutes and 20 seconds, probably. I probably won't leave it that late, but yeah. I'm probably going Saka. I'm probably going Saka. But I kind of want Mbeumo. Just can't get excited with any Liverpool players. That's fine, yeah. Is Alisson an okay pick if he's fit soon? Do you know what? I'm not sure I would go Alisson. That guy just seems to pick up an injury or two every season. Like, never for that long. But he like, it's not often you say, like, the goalkeeper's injury prone. But Alisson does just seem to miss too many minutes, really. I mean, the last 2 seasons he's played 2,500 minutes in both seasons. Like before that, it's over 3,000 in like 1, 2, in 3 of the previous. He just seems to get an injury. So I don't know if I would go Alisson, honestly. I really do think, right, unless something changes in terms of injuries and stuff next week, I really think if you want a Liverpool defender, you should probably try and get Van Dijk. I don't hate Konate. I'm not sure about Alisson. On a dog walk, so can't look right now, but did Juve drop in price last night? I'm not sure. He's 4.3 million, so I don't think so. Taylor, new member, thanks. Juve going to punish those who sold him before the Burnley game. Yeah, I probably wouldn't have sold him this week necessarily. Although if it's to buy an Arsenal defender or something, then fair game, right? Rory, 16 months, have some fun going Burma. I don't like fun though. I only like points. I only like points. That's all that matters to me. Fun sounds good until you don't get the points, and then it's just annoying. João Pedro captain punt. I do struggle most of the time to captain players that aren't on penalties. This is not a place for fun. This is ruthless, logical points bagging. Exactly. There's no fun to be had around here. If you're tuning in for fun, you're really in the wrong place. I hate to break it to you. No one's allowed to have fun in FPL anymore. Actually, do you know what? I was thinking, I do think about FPL way too much. Like, I left Az a voice note this morning on the captaincy stuff we discussed on Black Box last night. So that's one thing I thought about. And then I was thinking about how other people play the game. Like, 4.3 means he dropped. Okay, fair enough. My bad. I had a message from someone the other day, yesterday, and they said, who should I use my triple captain on this week? And it was Haaland or someone else. I can't remember who. And I was like, I would definitely save it. Like 100%. I would not use it this week. There's way better weeks to use it. And they basically replied saying that their sister is using a chip, and so they want to use a chip because they've got their sister in head-to-head. And I just thought, I really wish I could play FPL. I really wish I could play FPL like that sometimes. And that's not me saying like it's bad. I wish it's just such a fun way to play, I think, when you haven't got all that like worry about overall rank, when you're just competing, like, because that's how most people start playing FPL. They compete in mini leagues. Like the owner of the gym I go to said that his wife picked Voltamada because she liked the name. Like, I like stories like that, because we do take it too seriously sometimes. We absolutely do. And there's people out there using chips on Haaland against Liverpool at home so they can beat their sister in head-to-head. I mean, that's what FPL is all about, really. But anyway, forget that. We're not having any fun now. We're only talking about points. Forget fun. That's not what we do around here. Just a couple of stories this week. Bench 2, Calvert-Lewin, Senesi, Richards need to sell Calvert-Lewin. If you're selling... Oh, sorry, that's just like a separate statement. Yeah, I'd bench Calvert-Lewin. Thoughts on selling Semenyo? Feels like the wrong time to do it. Last week was probably the time to do it if you were gonna. Fixtures are really good, next 4. This week's okay, but next 3 in particular are pretty good. Can't get myself to play Dewsbury Hall, Evan Nielsen, Can't get myself to play Dewsbury Hall, Evan Nielsen, Gakpo to Mateta, Szoboszlai. I know sideways move, but fear Mateta double over Gakpo. I mean, I'd rather have Mateta and Szoboszlai, yeah. So yeah, if you don't want to play Dewsbury Hall, that seems fair. Next game week, I will have Dubravka, Rodon, Richards, and Krupi for my bench boost, hence contemplating. Yeah, Krupi's minutes are not going to, in my opinion, they're not going to be good. I think Evan Nielsen will start. And so game week 12, Leeds have got Villa at home, right? And then Richards is away to Wolves. I mean, the bench is arguably better next week, but then Dubravka's got Chelsea. Personally, I would not delay my bench boost just because of Krupi. I just don't think the minutes will be good enough. Oliver, 31 months. Would you sell Yorkresh when you have Senesi and Reinders on the bench? Probably. I mean, Senesi and Reinders are okay, but you can probably make good upgrades, right? But it depends. If you've only got one transfer and you want to shift that money into midfield and you'd prefer to do that next week, then yeah, you could just bench him. Start Thiago against Newcastle or Lacroix. Thiago. It's a real headache for me. Rest of the starting team, Sarr, Semenyo, Grealish, Fernandes, João Pedro, Haaland, Mateta. So I feel like I should go 3 in defence. Are you the person that had the James... See, if you knew Reece James was starting, I'd play him over Grealish. So you could bench Grealish. But if you want to go absolute safety in minutes, bench Reece James. Bench Reece James. That's taking me back to when I used to play for fun, straying feet. I know. Imagine having fun in FPL, honestly. What are those people doing? We're supposed to spend hours debating over tiny decisions that in the end never matter. Like that's what FPL is really about. It is spending hours to get less points. That's the real FPL game. It's the real FPL game. Have I tried Arc Raiders? Yes, but I just play solo and I just keep getting killed by the first person that sees me. I did take a couple of people out myself the other day and then extract, but I've not played it that much. Got to be brave with captaincy certain weeks. This feels like the one. I'm really not against going against Haaland, but I'm not going to do it myself. I'll do it next week instead when he's got an away game. James is surely safe. He's played 90 for how many games in a row? I know, it's just because he played midweek. But I think he probably will start, yeah. Senesi, Timber, and Gabriel as back line. It's fine, yeah, this week. Information on double game week. There's no doubles first half of the season. Second half, let's see. I'd much rather captain Haaland away to Newcastle than this week. Yeah, that's fine. That's what you should do then. Oh, you got 4 free transfers. I'd be moving your crash on, honestly, I think. In that case. Surely Enzo, Sarr, surely Enzo / Sarr plus Imbermo is better for you. Long term, potentially yes. Potentially yes. This week, potentially yes. Long term, potentially no. I mean, okay. Would you rather have Enzo, Imbermo, and Lacroix long term, or Enzo, Saka, and a 4.5? Which one? Let's just forget about Enzo, right? Let's just say Sarr, okay? Let's say Sarr is going to be in my team from game week 12 onwards. Would you prefer Saka and a 4.5 million defender or Imbermo and Lacroix? Bearing in mind, I'll probably bench Lacroix next week. Anyway. I think I don't think anyone can make a case that in isolation Imbermo is better than Saka. I don't think. Not with penalties involved. Would you transfer out Van der Ven for Lacroix or Chalobah? Lacroix, I think. If Haaland gets a hat-trick and Saka blanks, will you go Saka captain next week? Yeah, probably. Or Bruno. Bench 1, Caicedo, James, Welbeck, have Munoz. Caicedo, probably. That doesn't make sense. Saka is over 1.5 more. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Saka's over 1.5 million more. Yes, but I've got money in the bank. Okay, it's slightly different. Yeah. No, I think that is right. That is right. If I get Saka, I've looked at it. If I get Saka in next week, I can do Lacroix to a 4.5, and I can get Sarr in. Just about. I can't afford any price rises though for Paquetá, basically. Whereas if I go for Imbermo and Sarr, I will keep Lacroix and I won't spend the money. Will just stay in the bank for a little bit. The extra I have. That's the difference. That's why it feels like it doesn't make sense. Because with the Imbermo Sarr, I have some money in the bank that I wouldn't necessarily need for anything. Although money can always be useful. Start Neto or Reinders. I mean, right. I think I'd punt Neto against Wolves. Burn or Richards, 50-50 it seems. I go for the guy at home. So Richards. Start Gay, Minte, or Dewsbury Hall. Probably Minte, then Gay, then Dewsbury Hall. In that order. Pope or Dubravka, Pope. 1 free transfer, similar team. Want to get Yorkresh and Kudus out. Same as me, really, then. Right? Guiu and Saka, or Guiu and someone else. In draft, start Wan-Bissaka or Fofana. Opponent has Tosin. I go Wan-Bissaka, I think. Fofana may or may not start, right? Probably will, but considering Voltemada out for João Pedro for a -4, no chance will I do that. No chance. Burma is a better goal scorer. Or has he just scored more goals recently? Have I seen Sharknado? No, but I bet it's great. Bench one of these. Gabriel, Timber, Lacroix, Senesi. Easy. Easy. I don't have the money for Reinders to Minte. This is the thing, right? This is why it's always difficult to discuss transfers about your own team because no one's thought about it as much. So when I'm trying to explain that if I go Saka, I can still get Saar, but I've got to download Lacroix and I'm looking at a 4.5 and that 4.5 needs to be good in game week 14, you can't process all that. It's the same when someone like puts in a really convoluted question about their team. It's hard to process everything they're saying and picture how it's going to look moving forward. Oh, yeah, okay. Reinders to Minte is good for you, Chaz. Sorry. But yeah, no one will think about my team as much as I have. But I still quite like Mbeumo and Saar. Oh, maybe Saar's hamstring's putting me off a little bit. How annoyed am I about the GTA 6 delay? Not that annoyed, really. I would like to play it, but shouldn't be too bad. Look at Mbeumo's season and goals last year. Yeah, obviously Mbeumo was on penalties last year and Saka was injured for half it. He only started 20 games. By the way, I'm really just I mean, I could argue both points of view. I can make an argument for why Mbeumo's better. Like, no Europe. No one really to take minutes off him. Once Madueke is back, Saka's going to get subbed early in some games. Mbeumo doesn't really have that. He has been subbed off early, so it's not impossible. But I don't think it happens that much going forward. And there's no Europe. So, fully rested. Less chance of injury. There is absolutely reason to go for Mbeumo, but I don't know. I'm not even sure I would definitely captain Saka next week. You know, I did. Bruno's right there, and Bruno's always a differential captain because everyone hates him. Also, I've got to there's part of me that just wants to consistently keep like a couple of transfers spare for when I get really stuck. But by game week 15, I'm going to have to use them. Yeah, Saka absolutely nailed on penalties in Yorkers, 100%. Yeah, Saka's ownership is so much lower than Mbeumo. So much lower than Mbeumo. I don't know. Like, people saying that I won't captain Haaland if he scores. Sorry, I won't captain Saka if Haaland scores a hat trick this week. I think, I don't know. I think people have the wrong perception of me sometimes. Yes, I do make a lot of moves that are just obvious, but I am willing to go slightly against if it's for a good player, and Saka is a good player. And honestly, part of the reason that I like Saka is because other people don't. They're thinking about selling him. They're thinking about going triple defense. And personally, I don't feel like I need triple defense because I've already got Van Dijk in place. So actually, I feel like I'm buying Saka while his stocks are a bit of a low. And I kind of like him for that reason. It's not the reason to buy him, but I just quite like it. Like, Saka's been sold by 125,000 people this week. He's been brought by 80,000. So Saka, before Sunderland away, has been sold by more people than he's been brought by. I kind of want him. My only worry is, if I buy him and he blanks, he could just drop in price straight away. And if I don't keep him long term, that's obviously hurting team value. But I don't think that should be a big part of my decision, to be honest. So yeah, I kind of like him. And also, if he does really well against Sunderland, obviously the price can go up. So, I don't know. I don't think people can easily get to like a Saka and Fernandes setup, which is what I've got. And I know part of the reason they can't do that is because they've got better midfields than me. But like I've said, I've got a route to getting a Saar next week. And I just keep Dewsbury Hall on the bench because I play back four most weeks. I'm surprised you're playing Reinders over Van Dijk. Oh, sorry, Dewsbury Hall. Oh, Reinders. Yeah, I'm going to sell Reinders. I think many of the sellers want to get Gabriel. Yeah, which is fine. Read this week that Saka hasn't scored more than 9 points in a game week since November 2024. Yeah, but I think you've got to be slightly... Like, Saka's record recently is terrible. Like, if you go back to his last 20 games and you look at his goals and assists in the Premier League, absolutely terrible. But you have to always put context with stats like that. So that's a year ago, right? But he was injured for like 3 months last year. But I get it. I get it. Honestly, I love FPL because this time last year, I was having a completely different conversation. Everybody wanted Saka, and I was trying to convince people that for my team it made sense to get triple defense instead. Yeah. And the funny thing was, when I didn't get Saka, he scored an 18-pointer against West Ham. So it looked really stupid that I'd gone triple defense. And actually, it worked out okay. So I'm hoping it works out okay getting Saka this time. Saka is injury prone. Yeah, then I just sell him. Like, if Saka gets injured against Sunderland, he's injured over the international break and he's not going to play game week 12, then I'd probably just buy him Burbo and Szoboszlai. I don't think he's recovered from his form since his hamstring injury. Yeah, we'll see. Form can change so quickly. Like, let's say Saka scores twice against Sunderland. All of a sudden, everybody wants him. He's back in form, blah, blah. It's always the same. I'm not that bothered about it. And also, how many, maybe for Salah and Haaland, this shouldn't apply, but for attackers outside of them, how often do attackers get more than 9 points? Does it happen that often? Like, we always talk about, oh, this player's explosive, this player's capable of getting 15, 16 pointers. In reality, they don't happen that often. They don't happen that often. Like, if Saka could get 9 points most game weeks, that would probably be quite nice. Obviously, you want that bigger score. Of course you do. But stuff like no more than 9 points since November 2024, does it put me off a little bit? I guess so. But if Saka scored 9 points this week, I'd be pretty happy. To be honest. I'd be pretty happy. Is Rice better value than Saka? Possibly, but value doesn't always matter. I'm going Mateta over captain over Haaland. Am I crazy? No. On bench boost with 2 free transfers, Ryan is out for who? 0.2 in the bank. There's not really many players for 5.7, right? I'd probably roll and bench boost with him. Grealish out for Rice or Minte. I'd probably keep Grealish this week and maybe do it next week instead. Best Yorkshire replacement outside of Mateta. If you need them to play, probably Thiago. Sorry, I missed a few questions here. Oh, yeah. Bench one of these. Oh, no, I did that one. One to play, bench the rest. Reinders, Gordon, Rodon, or Van der Ven. One to play, bench the rest. I don't think Gordon's going to play, so I'm going to say Reinders. Thoughts on João Pedro, Rogers to Bruno and Thiago? I quite like it long term, yes, but selling João Pedro this week feels wrong. Yorkresh to Guiu stacked to Szoboszlai this week, want next week, or play Rodon and roll to 3. I'd play Rodon and roll to 3. Like, Szoboszlai is better than Rodon this week, but I'm not sure by miles. So I'd rather give yourself a bit more flexibility next week. Vicario Dubravka, Vicario, Caicedo for captain. I think it's awful. Like, by the way, I'm usually quite balanced. I'm usually quite neutral. Like, it's okay to do this, or it's also okay not to do it. Caicedo captain is absolutely terrible. And I don't care if he scores a brace, right? The decision to captain Caicedo is terrible. Yorkresh to Thiago with 1 free transfer. No Saka and Sarr. If you're happy with Thiago long term, yes. If you're not sure about it, I'd roll and just get 2 transfers next week and put the money in midfield. Mateta captain worth the risk, sure. I have Salah and Haaland. What should I do? Maybe free hit. Maybe keep them. Do you want them long term? I mean, Salah's very good from next week. Haaland's great. If you're happy with the rest of your team, you could keep them. Is Marino worth a 2-game punt, wildcard in 13? He is as long as he plays in 12, but that's not a guarantee. So I'm not sure I would risk it. You could also just wildcard in 12, by the way. Voldemar on the bench playing Dango and Reinders. I would definitely... Like, Voldemar could be on penalties. I would definitely play him over Reinders, no question. And probably over Dango too. Play Burn/Senesi, both away. Who gets a clean sheet? Probably neither of them. I'd go Senesi for the Defcons. Enzo captain as a punt. Go for it. Don't completely hate that. All this talk about Caicedo, yet Gravenberch averages more points per match and is far cheaper, plus has better fixtures, great enabler. Yeah, I think they're both pretty much not very good picks, but I could see arguments to go Gravenberch because he's cheaper, yeah? Can't remember the last time we got early team news and I actually like it that way. I also think it's better, yeah? I mean, don't get me wrong. It is nice when you've got, like, let's say someone messaged me now and said that this hasn't gone public, but Saka has picked up an injury. Like, that would obviously be really, really great news to get, because then it would mean I just go in Burmo, etc. So it is handy to get early team news sometimes. But I agree. Overall, I prefer that we don't get it much anymore. and we have to make decisions without it. Like I've never, well, I've a few times like I've gone looking for it and not got it, but generally like I much prefer not getting it. I really do. I can to choose to bring in Saka or Semenyo, who probably Saka, but again, there's money. Like, what does Semenyo allow you to buy is the bigger question. If it's not much, I would get Saka. What will be the higher number come the end of the season? Your overall rank or the amount of subscribers you have? Subscribers. Like, if when you say higher, overall rank, obviously you want a lower number, right? So, yeah, that makes sense. I hopefully by the end of the season we'll be past 485k subs or something like that. I don't think my rank will be that high, but we'll see. Start Lamens or Dubravka? Probably go for the United keeper. Lamens. I need to learn how to say that properly. Should I bench with Dubravka, Estev, Anderson, and Reinders? Probably. It's an okay bench. Bowen versus João Pedro, 1 week punt. Bowen. Yorkresh, Kudus for Bruggen, to Marino, Mateta, Sanchez. Don't hate it, but Marino is not a long-term pick, in my opinion. Downgrade Tarkovsky to upgrade Stack. Yes, to who? I mean, I would just play Tarkovsky this week and roll, no? Because you're using 2 transfers to not play Tarkovsky then, and Tarkovsky's fine this week. Voltemada or Minte. Long-term Minte probably because of the value, but Voltemada this week for sure. I have had Phoenix on this whole freaking time. You're right. I'm going to change it. I'm going to put on sleepy Star Wars music instead for now. Nice and relaxing. Oh, Alex, took a hit. Alex will do everything not to play the wild card. Took a hit for Gordon, Yorkresh to João Pedro Sarr. This hit set me up great for 12 to 15 with no wild card. Free hit 13. Great. Fair enough. Start right. Oh my god, this is what I mean. What are you saving the wild card for? I don't get it. I don't get what the obsession is with keeping the wild card. Like, what are you hoping happens? So you've taken a hit, and now you're having to start Reinders or Anderson. Should have wild carded already, honestly. Start Reinders or Anderson. Probably Reinders, just about. You just hate using your wild card. You hate using it. I'm pretty sure it was the same last year as well. Rank some fairly aggressive singing. Yeah, I've put on chilled Star Wars sleep music now, so I'll chill out a bit. Rank these captains: Enzo, Mateta, Mbermo, Gabriel. Mateta, Enzo, Mbermo, Gabriel. I can't captain a defender. Should I get James or Chalobah? Probably Chalobah, long-term pick. Ideally, I would go neither. Bruno, Grealish, Reinders to Mbermo, Sarr, Minte. No. Not in my opinion. You not just do Grealish to Sarr and then that's it. Worry about Reinders later on. Thoughts on Marino? I think it's okay this week. Next week I've got no idea. So it's very short term, I would say. Start Voltemada over Grealish. Yeah, don't mind that. Seems quite a few content creators haven't adjusted to the scoring changes, completely dismissing Rice as an option. Who's completely dismissed him? Anderson is fine, not a reason to wildcard and wildcard. Yeah, fair enough. But again, I think you're. I don't know if you're missing the point, or maybe it's not as bad as I think. But it's not just that Anderson is fine. Like, he is fine, right? I agree. But that's not your only issue. You're deciding between Anderson and Reinders, and you've taken a hit you don't need to take. To get João Pedro, everyone hated last week. And I know he's fine because the fixtures are good. But yeah, I already answered the Reinders Anderson thing anyway. Yorkresh, Bruno, Reinders to Thiago, Saka, Sarr. No. Anything involving Bruno out, I don't really like, to be honest. What do you think of the United double up of Bruno and Mbermo? Quite like it. Probably not going to do it myself. I do like it. I think there is a small chance that if I get to game week 14 with no issues, I can't. I won't be able to buy him Mbermo if I don't buy him this week. Because if I buy him in 14, I know he's going to AFCON not long after. So I've got to accept if I don't buy him Mbermo this week, I'm just never going to buy him. Not until he comes back from AFCON. Bench boost to Bravka, Senesi, Rodon, Saar. Saar's not really on your bench, is he? Come on. Come on. You can't try and trick me with that. But otherwise, yes. Bench boost to Bravka, Estev, Senesi, Reinders. Probably yes. The thing is, like, how much better are Dubravka and Estev going to be, you know? Just get it over with almost, I think. Start Dewsbury Hall or Reinders. Probably Reinders just about. Yeah. Thoughts on bench boost of Dubravka and Burmo, Saar, Timber. Thoughts on bench boost of Dubravka and Burmo. Come on. Get out of here. I know you're only winding me up. I'm so stuck and need major help. For head-to-head only, is Foden worth bringing in to Saar? I'm dead last. I mean, if your opponent doesn't have Saar, maybe yes. It depends how many AFCON players you have by then. I will only have Saar, so wouldn't mind an Mbeumo punt. Yeah, I was basically thinking out loud that if Saka's... Like, let's say I get to game week 14 and I don't really fancy the Saka captain in 16 for whatever reason, and I could do Saka to Mbeumo in 14 because Man United's fixtures are good. But they really get good... sorry, Man United's fixtures for the next 6 overall are pretty good. But really, the 2 best fixtures are in 14 and 15, which is West Ham at home, Wolves away. So I could come back to Mbeumo, but I know I won't. I know there'll be something else I prefer to do instead. Honestly, this is what I'm saying. There's no fun allowed. We've got 5 African Cup of Nations transfers. We have to use our transfers by game week 15. And I'm still not going to take a punt on Mbeumo because I prefer to get a longer term picking. Thoughts on bringing Foden in this week? Wrong week to do it, surely. Surely. Donnarumma to Sanchez to free up cash for Szoboszlai next week. Yes, but I wouldn't do it this week, I don't think. I mean, I guess this is the right time to buy Sanchez if you're going to do it, but I'd prefer to get to next week with the extra transfer, I think. And then you can still make that Donnarumma to Sanchez move if you want to. Crazy how confident players are about Man United. Haven't beaten Tottenham in 3 years. Yeah, sure. Bench boost to Dubravka, Minte, Rodon, Mukiele, then restructure. Don't hate it. Mukiele's obviously a bit rubbish this week, but the rest of them are okay. If Cunha starts all games by then, you can go there. Yeah, Cunha's on my mind. I just don't really want to go for him until Mbeumo's off to AFCON. Like, his minutes have been fine recently. But there's always a chance like it could just be Mount and Šeško instead. But yes, Cunha is on my mind. Like I had looked at maybe getting Mbeumo in now and then changing Mbeumo to Cunha in game week 16 as one of my 5 transfers and then just roll the rest. Would you do this if you're in my shoes? 50k, team in good shape, wildcard in 12 for the sake of having Salah and Haaland to utilise Salah as a differential. I don't like Salah and Haaland, Dras. I think you have to make too many sacrifices, basically. But it can work. But I personally wouldn't be doing it, I don't think. But I will look at it next week. I've got a bench of Van Dijk and Gakpo. Okay. Got a bench of Van Dijk and Gakpo. And only Gabriel from Arsenal. Why aren't I free hitting? Don't know. I mean, there's not really a standout week, so if you could do it this week, why not? Captain Saka, Haaland, Mateta, or João Pedro. Haaland for me, I think. I think I got the rest. My bench boost is Dubravka, Senesi, King, Estev. I have 1 transfer. Would you do Estev to Keane, Kill? No, probably not. Just get the bench boost done. Have that transfer for something way more interesting moving forward. I have enjoyed. Would you play Senesi over Anderson? You could do that, yeah, if you wanted to. I basically have a similar decision, Dewsbury Hall versus Anderson or Senesi. I'm going to go Anderson, partly probably because I've got Dewsbury Hall. I know it sounds stupid because obviously Njai can score without being in my team. But if I had Njai, I'd be more confident of an attack and return than I am with Dewsbury Hall. I think 5 free transfers for AFCON is way too generous. 2 or 3 would have been fine. Yeah, it's just because we can save up to 5. I think it's rubbish, though. It's like how many things have you heard from various people, myself included, saying, don't worry about it because you just get 5 transfers in 16. It just takes away like any thought. So I just get this player because I get 5 transfers. Now, FPL can definitely argue that yes, that's right, but it allows you to play the game in a different way, which is true, right? You'll be able to take more 1-week punts and stuff like that. So maybe that's a good thing. But personally, I prefer the strategy of having to think longer term than that. But look, it'll work out all right in the end. It's not going to destroy the game or anything like that. Like, let's not Let's not be too doom and gloom about it. But if FPL came to me and said, you get to make the decision for next time AFCON's on, which will be 2 years' time, I'd say don't do it. Don't do the 5 transfers. But then again, I might get to 16. My team might be in absolute ruins, and I might be really grateful. So, you know. But without that hindsight, I'm saying I prefer it if it wasn't a thing. To be honest with you. But that's just me. Kudos flag, Enzai? Kudos flag, Enzo or Njai? Enzo, I think. Welbeck to Yorkresh and Lee. I'm guessing that's Welbeck in. And leave 0.7 million to update the midfield. Currently have Sarr, Semenyo, Minte, Paquetá, and Mbeumo. That looks good to me. You can deal with Paquetá next week. King to Caicedo, Njai, Minte, or Enzo -4. I wouldn't usually take a -4, but I do think Josh King's just not a great pick unless the reason he is in is just to be a dead spot. But if you need to play him a lot, I don't like him at all. I think Minte's probably the best long-term pick out of those. But short-term, I quite like Enzo. Sells Kudus Voltamada to Roofs, Cunha, Thiago. If that's for free, yeah, sure. I mean, selling Voltamada is not great this week, to be honest with you, but it's okay. Owen worth a quick in and out today. If you got loads of transfers, yeah. Do you miss having the scores visible on previous matches when viewing a player? Yes, it is annoying. 4-4-2. Senesi versus Reinders. I go Reinders. By the way, just a point, right? When you frame the question 4-4-2 with Senesi or 3-5-2 with Reinders, that I often think in FPL there's such a perception thing of how your team looks. So I think that's why people always say, should I go 4-4-2 with this player or 3-5-2? Like, really, the decision is just who's better, Reinders or Senesi. It doesn't matter what formation you're playing. And the only reason I mention that is because I do think that plays on people's minds. That not playing 3-5-2 or 3-4-3 just looks wrong. Although in this case, I would play Reinders over Senesi, so that's nonsense. But do you know what I mean? That makes sense? Like, we should get away from worrying what the formation is and more which is the better player, if that makes sense. But yeah, but in this case, I would pick Reinders. But let's say you'd gone Reinders and Richards. I would have said Richards. Don't care that it's 4-4-2. Just think that Richards is better. Formation does help to move to other players. Oh, yeah, so I'm not saying you shouldn't think about that, but when you're making decisions on players already in your team, you just said playing 5 at the back was art. You're not ready for my bus team for next week. It's beautiful. My bus team for next week, if I buy Saka, is so good that I may even just stay on the deadline stream until FPL comes back up just to show you. It's that good. I'm going to buy Saka. I'm going to play Dewsbury Hall. Oh, honestly, I'm a little bit worried because I feel like I've gotten away with it the last couple of weeks playing such a bad midfield. But again, like, there's a perception thing, right? So right now, I mean, I get it. You bring in a good player, your team looks better. I get it. But you look at my team right now, and you're like, oh my God, you're having to play Reinders, Dewsbury Hall, Paquetá. Terrible. Once I bring Saka in, it's going to be like, oh, well, Paquetá's got Burnley at home, so that's fine. And okay, you've got to play Dewsbury Hall, but it's just one player. So, like, Saka coming in will just change the whole perspective, I think, of how bad my team looks. And I get it, right? That's like such an obvious thing to say. You bring Saka in, yeah, your team will look better, you idiot. Do you know what I mean? Luke is predicting that Reinders will be benched. He's hoping that Pep's going to play Cherky. I mean, we should probably listen to Luke. Luke knows more than me about Man City, but I reckon Reinders is going to play. I reckon he's going to play. I reckon he will. Right, do I switch over to a members stream? I'm messing. Who to bench? Foden, Mbeumo, Sarr, Paquetá, Enzo, Voltamada. Probably Foden out of those, which sounds horrible. Start 3, must have 1 defender. Richards, Senesi, Sarr, Minte, Semenyo. Semenyo, Sarr, 100%. And then defender, Richards. Xhaka, Senesi, Goodmanson, Dubravka. Should I bench boost? Probably. Again, I can't keep saying, like, I got no better way of saying this. When will you have a better bench than that? Like, you're going to have to look at your own team and figure it out. If the answer is, I'm not sure or I'm not going to have one, just do it, yeah. Is Gabriel a shout for captain? Yes, but I would captain Saka, Haaland, Enzo, probably even Bowen ahead of him, I think. Would you bench boost with Dubravka, Rodon, Stack and Guiu? Well, in that case, probably not, because Stack's minutes are not quite as secure as they were, and Guiu's not going to start. Should I bench boost? Bench Dubravka, Xhaka, Rodon, Senesi. Again, same thing. Is that bench going to get better anytime soon? If not, just do it. Saka and Minte versus Rice and Mbeumo. Oh, see, this is basically the dilemma I'm in. Essentially, that is because next week I can get Minte for Paquetá. So forget what this week's looks like. Next week, that is basically my decision. Saka and Minte versus Mbeumo and a midfielder. I'm probably going to go the Saka route, but both are good. And by the way, if you go Mbeumo, you don't have to buy Rice. You don't have to have 3 Arsenal players. Accidentally swap Paquetá to King, swap back or leave. Oof. No, if you're going to sell King, get a better long-term player than Paquetá. Bench boost to Dubravka, Joachim Andersen, Dewsbury Hall, Rodon. Again, is that bench going to be better anytime soon? Probably not. So yes, Dubravka, Calvert-Lewin, Rodon, Senesi, bench boost to Wet. Again, I can't keep saying the same thing. 2 free transfers. I wouldn't use a transfer to fix your bench. I think that looks fine. Would you captain Salah or Saka? Saka. Would you bench boost 11 or 12? Anderson, Senesi. The problem is, again, with that question is, that won't be your... So Anderson, Senesi, Xhaka, Dubravka, that won't be your bench in game week 12 necessarily because Senesi will have West Ham. So that might change a different player on the bench. So again, you're going to have to go and look. Is your bench better? What does your bench look like in 12 and how different is it? If it's not that much better in 12, just do it now. Like, bench boost is a very personal thing this season. It's not like you should wait for this week because it's going to be really easy to set up a bench boost. It's just not like that now. I didn't miss that super chat. I said bench Foden. Luke expects Reinders out at once. I feel, the way he worded it, I feel like there's a little bit of that he wants to see Pep play Cherky, but also that he thinks that could happen. I think Reinders will play, but it's a guess, right? I thought Reinders would play last week. Probably just another reason to sell him at some point. Reinders to Sarr, Minte or who? Sarr. I like Sarr. Senesi would still be on my bench next week as I'd have Munoz, James and Gabriel. Fair enough. Then you should probably take the better Senesi fixture next week, right? Xhaka won't be playing Arsenal. Anderson's got a worse fixture next week though, right? No, Anderson's got a great fixture next week. What are we even talking about here? If you've got Anderson and Senesi on your bench next week against West Ham and Sunderland... Oh, sorry, it's a different person answering. Oh, Jesus, okay. João Pedro over Nielsen for your crush. João Pedro. I'm convinced Reinders is bench. Worth a hit for Minte or just play Van der Ven. I'd probably just play Van der Ven. 39 months, by the way. Did you optimise your side? Surely Van Dijk or Senesi start over Dewsbury Hall. There is part of me thinks it's crazy to bench Van Dijk, but he's going to concede, right? He's going to concede, surely. It does feel wrong to have such an expensive defender on the bench, I won't lie. Calafiori. What am I saying? Calafiori. Isn't the rule that you can take a hit as long as you're going to captain the player coming in? I mean, people say that to justify the hit, yeah? I mean, I guess it's a bit better if you're going to captain them. Why not get Saka out? I've got 2 free transfers to spend, by the way. So I probably will get him. Van Dijk, bigger goal threat than Dewsbury Hall. That's probably valid, yeah. I wouldn't necessarily disagree with that. Matessa, -4, Reinders to Marino, bench boost and captain Marino. I don't hate it, yeah. The rest of the team looks pretty nice, to be honest. I mean, Mukiele's not great, I guess. Captain Marino, sure. If you want to take that punt, I'm all for it. Really missed the Anderson versus Reinders. I would say Reinders, but yeah, if you're not convinced about the bench, then obviously just play. About the start, then play Anderson. Think I'm swerving Sarr and wildcard despite the stats. You said on Black Box last night what I was thinking that Palace will eventually implode. Yeah, the problem with thinking stuff like that is like the honest answer is okay. Sorry, let me rephrase. I do think that could happen, that Palace are having to play so many minutes with the same players that at some point it will just hurt them. But I don't know when that will happen. So until they start getting injuries and stuff, we probably shouldn't worry about it and just assume that they're still good picks. I mean, you could make a case not to throw all your eggs into the Crystal Palace basket and maybe only go for like 2 players. Fair enough. And honestly, there's some competitive 6 to 7 million midfielders against SAR. So if you don't want to go for them, it's fine. But just to like clarify, when I said that, I do think that will probably happen. But we could be talking 2026, you know? Opinions on Delap free hit. I hate it, honestly. Like, on free hit, Chelsea got Wolves at home. Right? They're one of the best teams to target. I feel like you've got to go with safer picks than Delap. Like, João Pedro, Enzo, James, Cucurella, Sanchez, Chalobah, they're all better, I think, than Delap. Any chance Calvert-Lewin plays off the bench? Yes. Yeah. We always like to say it will be a start or it'll be no minutes, but it could just be off the bench, yeah. I'd probably play Senesi over Calvert-Lewin, I think, because of that. Liverpool kept a clean sheet against Real Madrid. Yeah, but it was about 7 days ago that people were telling me how awful Liverpool defence was. Like, literally 7 days ago. Oh, no, was it Friday deadline last week? Maybe it was 8 days ago. I think it was Saturday last week, wasn't it? So, yes, they did keep a clean sheet. I am quite confident about Liverpool going forward because of how good the fixtures are. But let's not say that now we can't captain Haaland because they kept a clean sheet against Real Madrid. You know? Any chance Guiu starts? I think no. I don't think Maresca rates him at all. I think he'll do everything to not have to play him. I think Delap will start up front, João Pedro will play number 10, and Enzo will play more of an 8/10 role, which probably doesn't change his impact from an FPL point of view that much, by the way. But yeah, Guiu's not starting. If he was starting, by the way, I'd play him over Dewsbury Hall. You're selling Reinders. Yes. Is your feeling that he starts based on some minor fear of missing out? I have no fear about Reinders. No, I just think he'll start because he's always started when fit in the league. If we take Pep at his word, he said that he hadn't trained last week, so he couldn't start him. But he absolutely could just not start, right? Like, Bernardo Silva will probably play a game like this. So it's, does he play Cherky? Like, it could be Bernardo Silva on the right, Reinders and Foden and Nico Gonzalez midfield. It could also just be Cherky on the right, Bernardo in the middle. Welcome to Man City players, you know? So yeah, I think he will start, but also it doesn't matter, right? Because I'm going to sell him. But Cherky was out before. Yeah, maybe he comes back in. And maybe he doesn't. Like, I don't know. We'll spend out. We could spend like the next 5 hours trying to figure out who's going to start for Man City, and we will not come to a conclusion. You know. I probably am just doing the Saka move and saving 2 free transfers for a rainy day. Yeah, because again, like, zero fun. I went for. I mean, if Saka scores loads of points, that's quite fun. I went for Raya, Lacroix, Gabriel, Senesi, Anderson, Sarr, Semenya, Bruno Fernandes, Haaland, João Pedro, Mateta on the bench. Reinders, Dubravka, Dewsbury Hall, VVGs, probably Van der Ven, I guess, or Van Dijk. Should I go for bench boost? Are you going to have a better bench anytime soon? I mean, Reinders, Dubravka's fine. Dewsbury Hall's okay. VVG is probably maybe it's Van Dijk. I'd probably bench boost that, yeah. 1 free transfer, 26 months. 1 free transfer for Bruggen to Raya or Bruno to Saka. Wildcard 13. For Bruggen to Raya. I think Raya and Bruno has to be better than Saka for Bruggen, right? Captain Haaland, Mateta or Gabriel. Haaland. Your question, Ryan, is to Welbeck / João Pedro and Enzo. Oh, yeah, that is nice. I would bench boost 12. I'd go João Pedro and Enzo, honestly, if it's short term, yeah. Gakpo or Minte this week. Minte. Also, Delap is a 2-week punt. Delap probably starts, but the minutes are just not good enough for me to go there, honestly. Am I looking forward to the international break before the super busy FPL period? Yes. I always like the international breaks, but I love, once we get back, so once we come back, it'll be game week 12. And then the next week, sometimes you say something like it's so obvious. Like I was gonna say, we'll come back, it's game week 12, and then it'll be game week 13, as if like no one knew that. But what I mean is 13, 14, 15, really quick succession. So that's kind of nice. It's kind of nice. So I'm looking forward to that. We get straight in 2 free transfers, game week 12, because I'm probably going to buy Saka in a minute. And then game week 13, maybe 3 hit game week 13 as well. And then we're straight into a Tuesday deadline. And then we've got a Saturday deadline. So Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday, Friday, Tuesday, Saturday. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. Only 47 days till Christmas. Can't wait. We're not that long from playing Christmas tunes. I hate to break the people that hate when I start humming along to songs. We are not far off until you start hearing me hum along to Do They Know It's Christmas? Or various other Christmas songs. Other Christmas songs are available. Top 3 Christmas songs, all that stuff, you know. It's all coming. It's all coming. Arsenal winning the league, just get Saka. But they can win the league without Saka, you know. 31 months, by the way. Thanks. Thanks for all the super chats, all the members, by the way, as always. I know sometimes I'm rushing through, so I don't say thanks on every single individual one, but I do really appreciate it. So thanks as always. And just thanks for being there in general, by the way. Don't have to super chat, etc. Bench 1, Minte, Caicedo, Senesi. Senesi in that case, actually. I'd play Caicedo. In Burma or Semenyo? I'm on a free hit with Mateta captain. I'd probably go in Burmo. I think his ownership's slightly lower than Semenyo. Saka in stack out from -4. Just start both Senesi and Anderson. I quite like that -4. I don't think you have to do it, by the way. Playing Anderson is absolutely fine, but I quite like just dealing with stack and getting Saka in. If you're happy with him long term, go for it. Voltamada and Tijani Reinders for Gio and Bruno / Burma, or roll 3 transfers into the break. Eventually we'll move to 3-5-2 and like the upside of the lunchtime game. Thanks for the content this week. Great stuff. Thanks for watching. I would do it, yeah. If you're confident that you're going to move to 3-5-2 eventually anyway, then I quite like it. Oh, hang on a second, though. You've only got 2 free transfers. Sorry, Voltamada. I read your crash for some reason. I'd be tempted to roll. Because presumably, if you're bringing in Gear, you can just bench Reinders. So I'd just play Voltamada, who could be on penalties if Gordon's out, roll to 3, and then do it next week. Sell Gordon for Enzo / Moreno, wildcard in 13. I go Enzo. Just because Moreno is not guaranteed to play next week. Donnarumma, Dubravka, Chalobah. Okay, let me see the question. Have 2 free transfers, nothing in the bank. Help. Donnarumma, Dubravka, Chalobah, Senesi, Gabriel's fine. I mean, you've got Haaland and Salah. One of them probably needs to go. I just think you've got Tonali, Reinders, and Longstaff, and I know I'm sat here with Paquetá, Dewsbury Hall, and Reinders, but not for long. I think you've got to sell one of Salah and Haaland and start distributing some money into that midfield. Personally, you've got to decide which one you want to sell. I'd probably find it easier to go about Salah right now, but he is about to become a massive differential from next week. Manny says I didn't reply. Let's see if Manny is correct. I don't even see. How far up is it? Annie. Oh, literally just done it. Timber captain over Haaland this week. Thoughts? It's fine. But I prefer Haaland captain. I'm not the biggest fan of captain in defenders. Captain in Bowen or Saka. Saka. Is Kuda starting? We don't know. He's touch and go. I think he probably will, but it's just a guess. I've got Reinders on the bench for him. Shall I use a free transfer? I'd be tempted to do that because I don't think Kudus or Reinders are great long term anyway. Enzo and Petrovic or Minte and Pope. Enzo and Petrovic. Should I get Bruno and Burmo, Saka or Enzo? Probably Saka out of those, but I do like Bruno. Stephen, I don't know if I did. I feel like I... Oh, no, I did. Sorry. Oh, sorry. I've missed a few here. Hang on. Okay, I definitely did that. Okay. Timber to Gabriel for a hit. No chance. Bench one of Minte, Van der Ven and Minot. Oh, Van der Ven, definitely. 100%. Would you do Reinders to Marino as a punt before wildcard in 12, or is there anything else you prefer? I mean, Marino is about as good as it comes if you're looking for a literal punt, right? Because no one owns him. It's Arsenal number 9 against Sunderland away. Yeah, someone else had a similar question earlier, and I basically said, I do like rolling an extra transfer into wildcard, but in that case, I'd get Marino. I would spend it. Because I think when you set your wildcard up for game week 12, you'll be able to set up in a way where you won't have many issues. Is Paulinho a good long-term replacement for Reinders? Paulinho is a bit like Caicedo and Gravenberch for me. I'm not convinced he can keep up the rate of scoring, because eventually it will just come down to Defcons only and people won't be as excited about that. Gordon Tassara or Gibbs White, 1 week punt before wildcard. If you want a genuine punt, then you go Gibbs White because his ownership's a lot lower. And he's probably on penalties, though I think he missed one in Europe. I think Sarr is better, but punt, it's Gibbs White. Your Chris João Pedro or a cheap option to spread funds such as Reinders to enjoy, for example, among others. My preference is to get that money into midfield soon. I'm not sure I'd necessarily buy Njai, but that is my preference. That's what I've done, or is what I'm going to do. But João Pedro is good for the next couple of weeks. Yeah, he's not terrible as long as he starts shooting. James, 2 months. Thinking of captaining Bruno Fernandes. Don't mind it, but I prefer Haaland and Saka. I have the same bench issue as last week. Njai or João Pedro. Ooh. That is tough, right? Because Njai did have a bit of a knot, but we think he's absolutely fine. Njai's on penalties. That would swing it, I think. But then it's Wolves. It's Wolves. I'm going to say I'd play Njai, I think. João Pedro, Saka captain over Haaland. Saka, yeah, maybe, if you want to go different. Bench boost with Dubravka, Anderson, Senesi and Xhaka. Probably, unless it's going to get Mars better in the future. Probably won't. AJP upgraded, thank you. Kudus, Van der Ven to James Paquetá. I wouldn't buy Paquetá. He's way too short-term thinking. Once you get past Burnley at home, you won't want Paquetá in your team anymore. So Kudus to Minte maybe, or Kudus to Sarr if you can afford it, someone like that. Van der Ven to James is okay, but again, I don't think he's a great long-term pick. So if you're thinking really short-term, I don't mind it, but long-term, nah, I don't think so. Am I considering rolling your remaining transfers? I'm not. There's no way I'm playing Reinders this week. I'm selling him 100%. I will not get to the deadline and say 2 free transfers. I will either buy Mbeumo and Enzo or Sarr, or I'm more likely just get Saka, to be honest. Why did you leave your transfers so late to create drama? Here's my question back to you. Why would I not leave my transfers late? I'm loving triple Arsenal defense on both FPL and Champions League Fantasy. Oh my God. I think I might be done with you with Champions League Fantasy. So I was 5k and I said to a few people, I'm thinking about doing... And now look, I only think about Champions League for about 20 minutes before the deadline, so I haven't put loads of thought in it. But I said to a few people, I'm thinking of doing Kane to Osimhen and one of my midfielders, I can't remember who it was, like one of my cheapies, like Trincao or someone like that, to Yamal. And Osimhen got a hat-trick, and Yamal did decent as well. I can't remember exactly what he got. I didn't do it. I made 2 other really rubbish moves, and now I'm 20k. I dropped from 5k to 20k. Oh, so I might be done. I might bail out of Champions League Fantasy now. Might rage quit. Wondering how Dog Walker, who couldn't check price change, could message you. Huh? The thoughts I'm missing out on the member stream made me do it. Well, but there's no member stream now next week because it's international break, so it'll be the week after. So I usually do Thursday 5 p.m. before a game week. So there won't be one next week, just so you know. Are we going to get 5 free chances for AFCON? Yes. Play Van Dijk or Senesi? Senesi. Lacroix, Gabriel, Murillo, Cucurella, Estev. Who to start? Lacroix, Gabriel, Cucurella, I think, if you only need 3. And then if you want 4, Murillo over Estev. I mean, benching Estev's easy most weeks, I would say. Playing Jai or Anderson? Njai. Yorkeresh, Bruno, Reinders to Thiago, Saka, Sarr. Kind of regret this, but had to do it to get the bench boost out of the way. I mean, I don't... Oh, hang on. You didn't have to do that, right? You could have just kept Bruno and just done Thiago and Sarr in. But yeah, it's fine. I think you've got a better team now. Would I ever start a gaming channel? I don't think these days I've got the... No, I was going to say... What's the word I'm looking for? I don't think I've got the concentration, I guess, to just play games all the time. I go through phases. Like there's a month or 2 ago, I was playing WoW like all the time, like almost every day. I haven't played it for about a week or so now, not properly, maybe 2 weeks. But once the expansion comes out, I'll probably play it quite a lot, and then I'll drop it again. So I go through phases with gaming. I'm not one of those people that's just like always wants to play games all the time. Start Juve, West Ham, or Anderson, Nottingham Forest. That's really close. I'm going to say Juve. I don't know. There's just something about him this week. Gakpo, Van der Ven, Marino, Timber for free. Again, yes, I like it, but Marino is very short term. May even just be this week. Maybe starting Jai and João Pedro and bench Semenyo. I really don't hate that. But don't be surprised if Semenyo takes lots of shots and João Pedro takes none. Gordon to Gibbs White 1 week punt before wildcard. Yes, because of the Gordon doubts. I would probably sell him. Yeah. I'm looking forward to today's matches, by the way. We've got the Bruno Fernandes show at 12:30. We've got the Dewsbury Hall show at 3. We've got the Saka show at 5:30. And then I'm going to watch some TV at 8 because I'm going to pretend that Chelsea's not happening because Enzo and João Pedro are going to smash it, unfortunately. Which is a bit annoying. Am I worried about Sarr injury / hamstring issues? Not massively. Like, I still think he's okay to buy. If I had him, I would definitely hold him. No chance would I sell him. No chance. Someone just said Cunha benched. Has that actually been leaked already? Where are you seeing that? It wouldn't completely surprise me if Mount's fit. This is why I can't buy Cunha until Mbeumo's gone. I don't see anything about that. Someone just said it in the chat, but I don't see it. I don't see it anywhere. Not that anyone really owns Cunha. They said Njai's fine, don't worry. Would you sell your crash and get João Pedro instead of Mateta if you use your wild card next week? I actually still think Mateta's better, to be honest. Is the stream conversion experiment one and done? Probably, yeah. I certainly will not do it like that again. That's for sure. If I was ever going to start doing regular member streams on Sunday, I would just do a separate stream. And oh my God, some of the overreactions, honestly. Madness. Shall I start Anderson or Senesi? Anderson between the two. Knowing Man United leaks, it's probably true. Yeah, it could be. Could be. Front 8, Saka, Semenyo. Okay, currently benching Voltemar. Okay, Saka, Semenyo, Enzo, Sarr, Njai, Haaland, Mateta, Voltemar. Oh my God. Okay, the only other player I'd maybe consider benching is Semenyo, but even that just feels very recency bias led. And the only reason I say that is because Voltemar might be on penalties if there's no Gordon. Gordon could just play, by the way. He's not ruled out. Yeah, you've just got a really good team, so you're going to have to bench someone good. Shall I start Anderson? Oh, I did that one. Your question, Gordon to João Pedro, captain and Mbeumo. I mean, I wouldn't captain João Pedro, but I guess it's okay otherwise. Captain's poll. Yeah, I can do a quick last 10 minutes captain's poll. Oh, there's an option here to do a members-only live stream. I just winded you up. Winding you up. I'm winding the non-members up, by the way, not members. Members stream 2 weeks' time will be there. Your captain for game week 11. Haaland, Saka. Who are the main people? Who are the main options? Mateta, I guess. Is that the main options? Haaland, Saka, Mateta, and then someone else. There's probably lots of players people are looking at this week. There's only four options I can do. Zach, new member, thank you. Again, there's no member stream this week, by the way. These streams go live in the evening in Australia, often high as a kite halfway through. Glad you're enjoying yourself. Am I still doing the other channel, the running one? It wasn't really ever a running channel. I did do some running stuff, I guess. I haven't done it for ages. No. Breaking my head still on Ryan versus Anderson. Honestly, in that case, just go for the safer start, you know? I don't think you can have any regrets starting the starter. Is Mateta going to be the next victim of the most transferred curse? Well, I mean, he's not the most transferred in this week, is he? No. And he already got 9 points last week. Oh, hang on. Sorry, I'm not looking at transfers in. Oh, he is. Oh, 800,000 people have transferred him. Oh, my God. Is he the most transferred in player? He is. Oh, fair enough. Yeah, probably then. My team, Donnarumma, Arsenal ×3, Minte, Mbeumo, Semenyo, Sarr. What a team. Bench, Truffaut, Achimpong, Sheshko. Who to start? Yeah, the bench seems fine. I would bench the players you've benched. Yeah. You think he is? You think who is what? Cunha. Trossard or Marino, 1 week punt. Marino, number 9. Oh, he is the most transferred in, sorry. -4, Yorkresh. Kudus, Alderete, Taguiu, Mbermo, Calafiori. Yeah, I don't hate that as a -4 goes. Someone just said that I missed a super chat, but I can't see who. Oh, P dog something. Oh, Gakpo, Van der Ven, and Marino, Timber. No, I didn't miss that. I said yeah, but Marino's really short term. Could even just be this week. Reinders over Senesi. So it's similar to Reinders over Anderson. I think Reinders will start, but honestly, if I had to make the decision, I'm pretty sure I would just play it safe. Right now, there has to be some doubts. I think he'll start, but there has to be some doubts there, I guess. So I guess the safe play is to play it safe and just play one of the defenders instead. Captain Saka benching Haaland and starting Semenyo. Good luck. I mean that, by the way. That is a big call. Strand Larson or Van der Ven to bench. Who have Wolves? Oh, Chelsea away. Van der Ven, probably. 5 free transfers. Thoughts on Gyökeres, Foden, Reinders, Van Dijk to Mateta, Saka, Minte, Keane. I'd say that goes down as a don't hate it, but it does feel wrong to sell Van Dijk when the good fixtures are coming up. And you've missed the price drop as well. Not that that should massively matter, but Van der Ven on fire the moment I sell him. Did I miss something? No, you're probably right. He probably will continue just to... He's got 6 goals already this season. It's ridiculous. Right, I'm going to get Saka, I think. Oh, Mbermo. The thing is, obviously, I want Mbermo to do well regardless. Of course. Of course I do. But imagine if Man United win like 3-0 and he scores and we could have won without that guy. Obviously, I want Mbermo to score regardless. I do. But obviously, if I don't pick Mbermo, it'd be nice to get a 3-0 with a Fernandes hat-trick. And I've got to watch Mbermo straight away. I will have 2 free transfers next week, so I'm not completely stuck. I can get Minte. I can sell Lacroix if I want to. Although I'm not going to want to sell Lacroix, I don't think. I'm kind of a bit attached to Lacroix. I do like him. I think he's a really good longer term pick. I've got to sell. I'm selling Reinders either way. Reinders is definitely going. I'm going to get Saka, I think. I don't know if I'm going to captain Saka next week. I don't think I'm going to sell. Mbermo's a better. Why is Mbermo a better pick than Saka? Don't say that. I could just get Enzo as well, or Sarr. Don't put any more super chats in now, by the way, because I'm going to make my moves. It's going to take me 3 minutes. Start 3 out of Gabriel, Senesi, Van der Ven, Gay, Richards. I would bench Senesi and Van der Ven. Vicario, Dubravka, Vicario, Van Heck or Estev. Probably Van Heck. Gyökeres, Reinders out for Thiago, Saka -4. Don't hate it. I mean, ideally you don't take the hit, but it's probably all right. How often? The FPL site doesn't crash that often. I will want Enzo out soon, but he does. There are nice routes to get rid of him, right? I like Sarr as well, though. I could just go in Mbermo and Sarr. I'm going to get Saka, though. I'm an Arsenal fan, and Mbermo's the better pick. I do want a Man United double up. I really do. I'm keeping an eye on the time because I don't want to mess this up. The 2 free transfers next week is nice, you know. Imagine Semenyo gets injured. I can get Mbermo and sell Lacroix. I'm just gonna set it up. Where's Saka? Oh, he's miles down the list because the guy doesn't get any points. Look how far down the list he is, by the way. Where is he? I've got to go to the second. My God, look at this. I've got to go to the second page to find Saka behind Adams, Utara, Sarr, Munetsi, Scott, Aronson, Reinders. Who's this Reinders guy? Jesus Christ. You don't need 3 Arsenal, but if you want Saka, that's fine. Oh, everyone's behind freaking Caicedo. In Burmo. I'm sorry, Mbermo. I did say earlier, whichever way I went, I would have. I do wonder if I would have had less regret if I just put Mbermo in. I do wonder if I just have less regret if I put Mbermo in. United triple up with Cunha. I can't afford that anyway. Mbermo probably will punish, yeah. And the great thing is, he's the first game. So if Mbermo does really well, I'm sure people would just let me just die in peace rather than tell me about it. I've got options next week, though. Saka does not cut me off doing interesting things next week. Not that I'm going to do anything interesting because I don't want to have any fun when I'm playing FPL. Saka. I'm not as happy about it as I should be, you know. If Mbermo scores a break, I know I never live it down. Mbermo turned down Spurs, he will feast. Yeah. I mean, I hope he does well, obviously, but I would like, obviously, Man United to win and Saka to do better than Mbermo. Would probably be quite nice for the best of both worlds. But I love yeah, I don't know. I love Mbermo as well. I think Fernandes is my favourite player right now at Man United, but Mbermo is like, you just got to love the guy. He's so good. Mbermo was right there. Mbermo was right there. Little bit of regret, but we'll see. Job done. Exactly, job done. What about your other transfers? I already did your crash to Gio, so I've got one free transfer. I'm going to roll that into next week. To be honest, this is what was playing. Honestly, I know there's some people out there just think it's all just for drama. I cannot tell you how many hours I've spent thinking about this. It's actually kind of sad, even for someone that does FPL for a living. So I do like having 2 free transfers next week. I think that's a really nice position to be in. So the thought did cross my mind at one point, we'll just get Mbermo and roll a transfer. But I don't think Mbermo is better than Saka, so I couldn't do that. For me, it was get Saka and roll, or it was get Mbermo and spend the money straight away. I couldn't just get Mbermo and roll. I just didn't feel comfortable with that. This is like the time Andy transferred in Fernandes with 20 seconds to go last season. He got a straight red. Yeah. He also smashed it after that, by the way. And also, when you're trying to make that sound really bad, do you know who I didn't buy? Luis Diaz. And do you know who did rubbish and everyone saw? I actually said Luis Diaz. I literally said Luis Diaz is going to get benched at some point. No, sorry. I said Luis Diaz is going to blank at one point, then get benched, and then everyone will sell him. And that's literally what happened. So I went Fernandes over Diaz. Fernandes smashed it, even though he got a red card. So yes, I did do that with 20 seconds to go, and it worked out really nicely. You've been tempted by Saka because he's the same because he's more money. If they were the same price, you'd go Mbermo. Now, if they were the same price, I would definitely go Saka 100%. The only reason I'm looking at Mbermo is because he's cheaper. So yes, price has come into it, but not in the way you're describing. Because if they were the same price, everyone would own Saka because he's 8.4 million on penalties. Saka plays 50 minutes and goes off injured. I mean, if that happens, I'm telling you right now, I'm doing Saka and Paquetá to Mbermo and Szoboszlai. Straight away. It didn't trigger me, but it reminded me of how good that Fernandes move was on Wildcard. Because everyone had... I went against Luis Diaz. Everybody else had him. He means if Mbermo is more expensive, not that if Saka is cheap. You've been tempted? No, he said if they were the same price, you'd go Mbermo. He literally said that. I also really want Dewsbury Hall to score. I'm going to watch Fernandes at half 12. I'm going to watch Dewsbury Hall at 3. I'm going to watch Saka at half 5. And then I'm going to ignore the Chelsea game. I feel like that's copium. Mbermo's underlyings are just as good. Yes. Well, they are right now. Historically, I mean, look at Saka's numbers from last year. Like, Saka is capable of doing better than he is right now. And also, Saka's on penalties. If they were the same price, I would have 100% choose Saka. 100%. Not even a question. I wouldn't have spent any time thinking about it. I would just get Saka. Because then I could have got Sarr or Enzo. I bet you a tenner Trossard outscores Saka this week. No, because that could obviously happen. Like, Trossard could score 20 and Saka gets 15. Something like that. Do I have to start thinking how to get Bruno back? No. Not if you don't want to. Do you not think you should have started Senesi since you have Dewsbury Hall? Probably, but I'm going to watch the Everton game, so I've put Dewsbury Hall in. I don't... If Senesi was at home, I would definitely play Senesi, I think. But I kind of see Dewsbury Hall and Senesi as quite a close call. So I'm going to play the guy that I'm going to watch this afternoon, basically. And by the way, I don't make all of my decisions based on what games I'm watching. But if the decision's close, why not? Why not? I know he said same price, but he means that if Mbeumo costs 10 million, not if Saka. Oh, sorry. If Saka, so you're saying that if Mbeumo was 10.1 million, I would have bought Mbeumo instead? No. Because again, then either way it doesn't matter. Because I think Saka is better than Mbeumo. So forget money for a second, right? If you're asking me who's going to score more points between now and game week 16, including game week 16, it's Saka. So therefore, I think Saka is better without money involved. So if they're the same price, why would I pick the guy that I think is going to score less points? That makes no sense. So yeah, Spurs are awful at home. Fancy Bruno to do well. Bruno often does quite well. You know, he's outscored Saka the last 3 weeks. Saka's rubbish. Saka can't score from corners. Just you watch. Saka hasn't scored in 3 weeks. I know, and he's never going to score again, probably. Am I still doing the runs? No. I'm just walking and going to the gym. See you here tilted on the knee-jerk stream. I don't know if I'll be that tilted because I'll have 2 free transfers. Like, I am expecting a bad week versus other people. Although my midfield's okay. Dewsbury Hall's the only problem, really. Would you take a job at FPL over doing this? No chance. Oh, we got lineup soon, haven't we? We got lineup soon. All right, let me just mute that guy that just said Mbeumo's bench because there's no chance Mbeumo gets benched. You've never been in a member stream. Oh, you'd have to change that at some point. It's just a Q&A, basically. Bruno is not good. I think he's great. Your shirt stripes blend into the background. Yeah, I know. It's not the greatest shirt to wear, but I just really like this shirt, so that's why I'm wearing it. I know. It would be... Yeah, it's because of the colour versus the green screen, basically. It's why you never see me... Like, a very, very rare will I wear light shirts. Because they're just not good with the green screen. And I can't wear green, obviously. You said on the video... Oh, no. Alex, this is Alex catching me out here. Something I said. You said on the video yesterday, you take a hit, your question, and midfielder out to 2 players, but didn't like. Just because I've wildcarded. Just because I have wildcard. I will take your word for that. I'm not quite... You said on the video yesterday, you take a hit, your question, and midfielder out to 2 players, but didn't like just because I've got wildcard. I just think every week you're thinking about wildcard, but it's never quite enough. But I don't know what you're saving it for. And like you've just taken a hit now, and you've still got like Anderson's fine. Again, I get what you're saying, but if you wildcarded, you probably wouldn't have to play him, right? I think I haven't thought about wildcard 11 that much. Great top from a Chelsea fan. Terrible shirt. You can appreciate other shirts, by the way. I think as a football fan. I think one of my favourite shirts in recent times is the Arsenal away one. I think it was last year, like the almost like fluorescent yellow greeny one. Why don't you use the green screen on guest appearances? Because I don't think you can really. Because I'm not using this software when I'm on someone else's stream, so it doesn't take the green screen out usually. Like it's not like when I did it with Az last night. It's not like it was on Zoom or anything. And obviously it works okay on this channel because everything, all the graphics are set up to be green screen-ish. Simply FPL, 39 months, thank you very much. Eddie as well, thank you. I went on Blackbox last night, yeah. Why is there a gullible sticker on your microphone? That's terrible. That's like being back in school. Arsenal was so good in that shirt. They're also pretty damn good right now. Anyway, I just saw Arsenal team news and realised it was the women's team. I'm actually going to shoot off because I don't think there's anything. Well, I guess Kudus. I could stay for 6 more minutes, I guess. I'm going to have to pee, though. I'm going to have to pee. Yeah, it's either I shut the stream off right now or I pee and wait for the lineup. So I think I can just, if you can just wait a sec, I'll be back in a minute. Better mute though. Hang on. Let me mute a sec. And we're back. Where is the chat? First hit of the season. No, don't write Saka injured. If I wildcard, the team wasn't perfect for 11 either. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. I'm not going to argue with it. I know you're just going to say the wildcard to like game week 19, so it's fine. It's fine. Should we keep an eye on price changes during the international break or don't do early moves? I always think the same, right? Unless you're absolutely sure what moves you want to make, you just shouldn't make them early, basically. Because anything can happen, especially over an international break. My fiance said yes, congratulations. Am I going to the Galway Bar meetup this afternoon? I am not, but have a good time if you're going. I kind of do want to go because Niall that's organising it is such a good guy. FPL Air. Go and follow him if you haven't already, by the way. FPL Air on YouTube and Twitter. EIRE, by the way. But yes, I'm probably not going to be there, unfortunately. Which is a shame, because the games are really good. Fernandes, Dewsbury Hall, Saka would be quite nice, but I'm probably not going to be able to go. Please clarify AFCON transfers. I believe that transfers get replenished to 5. We do not get 5 free transfers. You get topped up to 5. How old am I? Really old. Really old. Do you prefer the shirt you are wearing or the white United away shirt from last season? I think I prefer this one, but I do like the white one as well. I've got that one. There's not that many Man United shirts these days where I feel like I've got to get that. But when I saw the white one, I was like, I really want that. When I saw the black one, as soon as the black one got leaked, I was like, I'm definitely getting that. 100%. Yash, 35 months. Wow. Just logged in, been hectic. First observation, you look much fitter, man. Thank you. How many shirt sizes have you lost? It depends what clothes you buy. But things have gone okay. Whether they'll continue to go okay, we'll see. We'll see. But thank you very much. 35 months. Hope things are going well. Which game week is that again? Did we get the 5 transfers? 16. Game week 16, but most players for AFCON are not going to... Sorry, most African Cup of Nation players are going to play in game week 16. It'll be game week 17 will be the first week that they miss. Basically, there's going to be lots of chat between the clubs and the country about when they're happy to release players. I suspect that most key players like Saar, Njai, Burma, etc., they won't be allowed to leave early and they'll play game week 16. It'll be game week 17 they miss. Have Adidas released retro United shirts? Not sure. I did see a blue one that Burma was wearing on Twitter. I don't know if that's an old one, maybe. Most FPL. Yeah, I just didn't want to get into it too much, to be honest. Did you and Ash use Riverside last night? I'm not sure, to be honest. He settled out. I don't have to do fancy stuff like that because I'm just on my own. I do want to fix my sound, though. I don't think my audio is as good as it can be. Because I feel like I've got to turn it up quite a lot in my video editing software, and it kind of... I can hear some cracks every now and again. I don't want to like make people too aware of it because maybe they're not noticing it. But I do feel like I need to... up the audio quality a little bit. I don't think it's as good as it could be. You left the Rhiners to Anderson to Fate, switch back and forth till deadline. Fair enough. You'll see in a minute. Did you miss the deadline? Yeah, it was 15 minutes ago. Oh, here we go. Team sheets coming out. Team sheets. Do you use virtual cables? What the hell's a virtual cable? Cunha starts, so does Imbermo, so does Bruno, so does Delict, so does Mazraoui. Oh, Dorgu starts as well, so no Dallow's on the bench. Interesting that Dorgu's come in. So, is that... Wait, where's that? Oh, no, Ahmad's starting as well. Okay, so he's just chosen to swap Dallow and Dorgu. I tell you what, I briefly, very, very, very briefly, I looked at Dallow because he got West Ham at home in 14, but I can't go there. The minutes aren't good enough, as shown here. So Maguire's back in as well. So Maguire, Delict, Mazraoui are the centre-backs. Ahmad, Dorgu, wing-backs. Casemiro and Fernandez. And then... Oh, no, Shaw's there as well. Wait, what? Oh, yeah. Wait, where's Mazraoui playing then? I'm so confused. Am I being stupid here? Oh, Cunha's playing up front. There's no Sheshko. Okay. Yeah. Sorry. So that means Ahmad's playing number 10 then. Ahmad's playing 10. Mazraoui's playing right wing back. And Dorgu's playing left wing back. Nice. Interesting. Yeah, I just don't think you can go Sheshko or Cunha because of stuff like that. It's interesting that Mason Mount's not playing though. No, Mazraoui's not right centre-back because it's Delict, Maguire and Shaw are the three centre-backs. It's Ahmad in the 10. It's Ahmad in the 10. For Spurs, they haven't released... For some reason, they don't release straight on. Kudus is benched. No, Kudus is not in the squad. Kudus not in the squad at all. Muani up front. Van der Ven, obviously, and Romero. Oh, Richarlison starting as well. So it's Richarlison up front, Muani off the left. No, wait, where's... Oh, Xavi Simons is playing. Yeah, no Kudus. No Kudus at all. Not in the bench. Not in the squad. Amma playing number... Shesko bench. Cunha up front. No, it's in Burma. It'll be Cunha up front. In Burma, will just play where he always plays. Which is a great position to get lots of FPL points, of course. Interesting. I just want Diallo on the wing and Dorgu in central midfield. Wait, what? What, to have Bruno number 10? Seeing the lineups on Twitter. Huge day for West Ham. Massive day for me and West Ham. I got Paquetá and I need West Ham to win for last man standing. Right. I'm off. Please enjoy your weekend. If you're going to the... There's a meetup, by the way, an FPL meetup in Galway in Mary Mullins. I think it's Mary Mullins Bar. So make sure to check that out if you haven't already. You can follow FPL Air on Twitter, EIRE. He also does YouTube as well. I'm off. I'll be back tomorrow with the knee-jerk stream. Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point. Ahmad and Burma would... Oh, maybe... Yeah, it might be in Burma up front then. It might actually be in Burma up front. Oh, my God. Yeah, you might be right there. Let me edit. And Burma playing number 9 should have gone there. In Burma number 9, much better than Saka. Anyway, I'm off. I'll see you tomorrow about 6:30 for the knee-jerk stream. Then obviously we got international break. Enjoy your weekends. Hopefully there's lots of FPL points, and I will catch you soon. See you later.